Yo, yo, yo. It's a hockey happy hour. We got a lot of playoff talk. It's that time of the year again. Greatest time of the year. Greatest tournament in all sports for the greatest trophy in all sports. We're going to break down a preview here tonight. So hit that like, hit that subscribe, get in the chat, and let's talk about the playoffs. Let's go.
Let's go! This ain't the fuck like oh, this game he stinks!
Oh shit!
It's gone!
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a brand new edition of the Hockey Happy Hour live on A2DRadio.com. I am Matt Tsutsuti, along with the Darkwing, Brian Daly.
Oh, we got a big game tonight, boy. We got Dallas and Vegas. Vegas loses for the first time in franchise history. They will miss the playoffs. Huge game, huge implications tonight. Let's go.
Absolutely. And tonight, unfortunately, the broken one himself is a little under the weather, so he is not here this evening. But he will be in the chat, so you can find him there. He's here in spirit, though.
He better be. He better be in the chat.
And here on the Hockey Happy Hour, we are brought to you by, as always, Manscaped. Manscaped, starting this spring, that also marks the start of Testicular Cancer Awareness Month in April. Manscaped has partnered with the Testicular Cancer Society to bring awareness to testicular cancer, men's health, and also early cancer detection along with it. And Manscaped is committed to raising awareness for the most common form of cancer in men from ages 15 to 35. And they're giving support for fighters, survivors, and families impacted by testicular cancer as part of their We Save Balls initiative. And you can get 20% off plus free shipping with the code at A2D at manscaped.com. That's 20% off, free shipping with the code A2D at manscaped.com. It's time to throw out your old hygiene habits and upgrade your life. We all could use an upgrade sometimes. Definitely check that.
Definitely need an upgrade, especially when it comes to that kind of stuff. Especially for the guys out there tuning in. It's nothing more important than making sure the boys are good.
Yeah, absolutely. And today's poll question, very fitting for today's all-important game that we will definitely be giving a couple of shouts to for tonight, is brought to you by BetUS, which is one of the leading online sports books that has been around in the market for over 25 years, and you can bet anywhere in the U.S. on everything, and you can use that link in the bottom part of your screen right there for 125% sign-up bonus. So a nice little value just for signing up with the A2D. You can take a little bit of that advice from the Money Pop Podcast in Willie Vegas, use it there on BetUS, and there's another couple of other sponsors we got that you could use it as well. But definitely check out BetUS. Make sure you get a little cash on the side. Hey, the NBA playoffs is really heating up, and the Stanley Cup playoffs start next week. So very important time to get in on that.
Is it really playoff time already, Maddie?
It is, and I am all here for it because that means the Flyers are not playing anymore. That's what that means.
What the hell happened to the season, man? Like, it just went in the blink of an eye.
I know, right? Oh. Meanwhile, though, on a positive note, the Phillies are up on the Rockies 7-0. So, but there's that.
I don't remember.
Anyway,
yesterday, I think the Phillies won yesterday, right? I think they won 8-2. So they got to win a series here. They have to win a series here.
And this is our poll question for today. The Vegas Golden Knights will miss the playoffs for the first time in franchise history. Agree or disagree? Bri, tonight's the big night for Vegas to put up or shut up, for them to try and keep pace with Dallas, and for them to survive in what has been a very crazy race that Vegas didn't have to put themselves into. They just went cold several times during the seasons to put themselves here. What's your opinion? Do you think Vegas is done for tonight, or do you think that they can stay alive here?
I mean, it's tough. I feel like, oddly enough, I'm the one who actually came up with this question,
Yes.
which is really funny because I can't. I feel like it's kind of loaded at the same time, but this Dallas Stars team is, they're battling and clawing their way, and they got a great young core in place there. And as much as I like this Vegas team and how loaded and stacked they are, I truly believe that the Dallas Stars are going to eliminate the Vegas Golden Knights tonight. There's something about this Knights team that it's just they're not clicking. Hi, Eileen. They're not clicking. They haven't been really clicking all year. I think things kind of got a little worse as Eichel came back, and I don't know. Maybe that's just it's a chemistry thing, but even before Eichel came back, they were having issues on the power play, and that's something that they've been flourishing with and had a lot of success from the past couple seasons. And the power play hasn't been great for them all season long. So I think that has a huge part to do with it. I think not having Marc-Andre Fleury on the roster anymore, I think that has something to do with it. Do I like Robin Lehner? Yeah. Is he good? Yeah. Is he Marc-Andre Fleury good? No.
Plus, he suffered that injury that took him out too. So, that didn't help anything.
Yeah, but they had Lehner the bulk of the season, and to top it all off, they're a team. You're going up against a Calgary Flames team, which I know Dylan's going to appreciate this. That's a cup contender. You got an Edmonton Oilers team who we thought was going to go downhill from the jump after starting off, 9-0?
Yeah.
Something like that, and then just tanked it.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got an up-and-coming LA Kings team that looks like that they're going to be in the playoffs, which good for them in a sense. So, here you go, Kings fans. That's for you. And it's just a tough division. And now they're struggling on the power play and 5-on-5. It's, it was just a matter of time before the division caught up with them. I think they were a little, I don't want to say they were ahead of it, but they definitely had an advantage being in a bit of a softer division. And now that everybody's coming back and teams are starting to become a little bit more competitive, you're going to see a bit more of a struggling Vegas team, and they're getting figured out.
Yeah, well, it might just be that we're getting ready to see the first real valley period for this franchise. They've enjoyed the highs, but as always, what goes up must come down, and you know how it works in sports. You go through your periods where you're at the height of your powers. It seems like a cup is within your grasp, and then eventually that decline begins, and then you sit at the bottom of the standings for a few years, or sit wallowing in mediocrity, realizing we need to make a change, and then you rise back up slowly. But that's how it works in every sport, not just hockey too.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's a little bit of it. I've never been a fan of Peter DeBoer as a head coach. It didn't matter which team that he was coaching. I know he got San Jose to the finals, but look at Gerard Gallant. I'm still trying to figure out why he was fired. Still don't know. He was literally out of the blue, and they were just coming off a playoff berth, and I believe they got to the second round before they got eliminated, but regardless, I think if they had stuck with Gerard Gallant, I think they'd be in a better position. And then the other thing you got to worry about now with Vegas moving forward is, and Dylan brought it up, I saw it in one of his comments. They're going to be in cap hell relatively shortly.
Yes, they are. Well, they got no one but themselves to blame for that. They signed a lot of players to some big contracts.
And it's paid off for them, though. It's paid off. They've had a lot of success early on in their existence. And, they got the Stanley Cup Finals in 2018 in their inaugural year. So, that's huge for them. But, they were, and I don't blame them for this, because a place like Vegas, you gotta hit the ground running. So I don't blame them for going out and making all the moves that they did and bringing in the star-studded players, because that helped them a lot. And I thought they drafted smartly in their expansion draft. But the same time, now you bring in a guy like Eichel. You got Pacioretty, who's on a big contract or a fairly big contract. You brought in Alex Pietrangelo, who's on a huge deal. I think you signed Robin Lehner to a fairly large contract.
Yes,
It's all going to catch up. Shea Theodore, I think, he signed a long-term extension that has a pretty high AAV. It's all going to catch up eventually. And now you're in a situation where what's the next step now if you miss the playoffs?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
He's got to compete now because you got the rest of the division starting to compete with you.
Yeah, it was a little while there where there was a lull in the Pacific Division because Anaheim and LA were rebuilding. LA seems to start to get into the fruits of that labor. Anaheim had a preview of it. Still got a little bit to go before they reach that level, but they're getting there. The Sharks are going to be in cap hell for a while. And then you also have other teams as well, like Calgary and Edmonton, that were building themselves back up. And Calgary has been, at times, stuck in neutral. We'll see if this year they finally stop that. And then as for Edmonton, yeah, we all know what Edmonton is. We'll get into more of that as we go along. But anyway, the Golden Knights took advantage of that. They had the advantage of being the team in the division that had the least issues going on with that and was the least rebuilding team out of all of them. And because they weren't rebuilding at all, really. They were an expansion team that came right out of the gate, doing well. All right. So, Dylan saying, agree to the poll, fuck the Golden Knights, enjoy salary cap hell. Does he hate the Golden Knights? I'm not sure.
I don't blame him. You wanted Eichel? They got Eichel.
Yeah. Jake saying, what up, boys? Going to agree with the poll, and let's go Phillies.
I'm about that. Let's go Phillies. So real quick before we go on to the next one.
Sure.
Vegas's power play percentage right now is 17.79.
Wow.
That's pretty low.
Yeah.
It's lower than the league average. The league average is about 20.58. So that's what they're, like I said earlier, it's been a struggle for them. They've had 208 power play opportunities, only cashed in on 37.
Wow, that's not good if you want to make the playoffs.
And their penalty kill's been struggling too. Their penalty kill's below the league average as well. So
Really?
that's something, if you can't win that, the penalty kill or the special teams play, especially in the playoffs, you got to worry about teams like Tampa who have one of the best. You're not going to win hockey games. You can't, especially with a roster like they have.
No, you're right. You gotta be, stronger than that going down the stretch, especially going down the stretch, because lesser teams get taken advantage of all the time in this environment.
Yeah. Eileen, I believe it's. Did I hang? It's either Brendan Gallagher's or it's Nicholas Backstrom's. I believe it's Backstrom's I put up there though.
Got you on that one.
What's up, Tom?
Tom saying, what's up? What's going on, Tommy?
Talk a little bit about your Golden Knights there, bro.
And Anthony saying Pens and cap hell too. Pens are an interesting one because they're a team that's obviously in transition. They're transitioning out of their era where they were one of the dominant teams in the league. I mean, they're still competitive, but obviously they're not what they used to be. We know that. But again, it's that transitional period, and it won't really be done until Crosby and Malkin are officially retired because they're going to try and stay competitive as long as those two are still around. I can see maybe
to see Latango though. I mean, he might walk this offseason, so just don't be surprised by that. That's going to relieve some of that cap as well.
True. That wouldn't surprise me. I know that they still have rumors going on that Evgeny Malkin will leave, but we've heard those rumors before and nothing ever came of it.
The last 3 years, something like that?
Yeah, so, I'll believe it when I see it at this point on that one. Dylan saying, 1-0 Flames, Dylan Dubé on the power play.
Who are they playing again? You said they're playing Nashville, right?
I think that's who they're playing. And then Bryce saying, yo, what's up, Bryce?
Bryce, what's good, bro?
And I say, when is Crosby going to retire? Fucking loathe him. Well, he's not planning on doing it anytime soon.
I think he's a year younger than me, so probably the next 5 years or so.
Yeah, he's still got a little bit left. Still got some gas left in the tank. Plus, who knows? He might play past the time that most guys retire, because some do. Tom's saying we also have no starting goaltenders. Lanier sucks. Yeah, I know that was a big issue as we were going down the stretch, and Bry brought it up as he was talking about it earlier on. So it's a question mark that you don't want going into the playoffs, and you don't want going into this too important game against Dallas tonight.
I mean, I wouldn't say he sucks. He's not an elite. I mean, I know the Vegas fans are used to seeing Marc-Andre Fleury in net, who's elite.
True.
He's just not elite. I mean, if you had a solid backup, which I don't think they do. If I remember correctly, it was Malcolm Subban, but it's not anymore. I don't remember who it was. But regardless, that hurts, especially if you don't have that elite goaltender who's going to be able to handle all that. And they don't have that in Lanier. Lanier's good, but he's not elite.
No, I hear what you're saying, and Lanier has hit. Like you say, he's a solid goalie. He's had some backup roles where he's done relatively well. It's just like you said, starting goaltending. It's a whole different animal, and some goaltenders can do it, some goalies can't. Some goalies can do it for only a period of time, and then they switch to backup, like say a Brian Elliott, who was a starter for a little while with St. Louis, and then when he came to Philly, he transitioned to backup, and he's doing it now with Tampa. It just happens over time.
What's up, Jesse?
What's going on, Jesse? As he says, "What's up, fuckers?" And
I tried to have a comeback ready for him, but I couldn't come up with one. My brain's a little mushy today.
No, that's all right. Fuckers
it's the last day of my work week, so I'm good. I'm done. I'm toasted.
It's a Friday, so your brain isn't exactly working at full speed right now, or at all.
No, it was about half speed, and then I got home, and then it just kind of.
Then it crapped out the motor. Oh, and Jesse's saying, last night's stream after the Sixers game, I had probably 40 Raptors fans tagging me in the chat, calling me trash because I said, fuck the Raptors, and Toronto is my all-time fave A2D moment.
Let's be real. Toronto fans are trash. They're about just as fickle as some of the these Philly fans here. They're quick to turn on their teams even before the season even starts, as we saw this year with the Maple Leafs getting off to a little bit of a slow start and everybody jumped off the bandwagon. But
that was still funny as shit. They lose to the Sharks, and then someone takes their jersey off and throws it out onto the ice. I was crying laughing when I saw it. I was like,
times, and I remember that happened, and I brought it up on the show, and I'm just like, we're 3 games in. Are you serious? Are you serious? But their fan base, whether it be Toronto, the Maple Leafs, or the Raptors, or the Blue Jays, it don't matter. They're trash fans, and they're so fickle, and they talk so much shit, and half the time they can't even back it up. Like they're going nuts in Toronto right now, and they're acting like they've won the series already. Although there are a lot of Philly fans, Sixer fans that we're counting the series over at 2-0, and I'm like, don't do that because they're going to come back in this series. The series is not over until it's 4.
No, that's true. That is true. They got to experience what it was like to give up a 3-1 series lead just to lose.
Yeah, Jesse, your comment here, man, about the Raptors fans cheering when KD tore his Achilles, that's exactly what I'm talking about. They're trash. They are trash. They have no class whatsoever.
And Jesse saying they should have kept MAF. And then Tom saying the Sharks can take DeBoer back. No, we don't want him back. Yeah, we got to the finals with him, but we kind of lost to the Penguins. I don't want him back. No. Dylan saying Oilers sends Habs and Leafs fans threw their jersey on the ice. Calgary, Vancouver, and Winnipeg haven't. Well, there you go. You ever know? See, what confuses me though is why do the Sens fans do it? See, I see the Oilers. I see the Habs and the Leafs, and I kind of get where that comes from. There's a bit of an entitlement sense there. With the Oilers, it's kind of silly because, like, well, yeah, the Oilers were a great team in the 80s, but it's been a while. They were a mediocre team in the 90s, a mediocre team in the early 2000s. They've been trying to rebuild ever since, and they've done a terrible job of it. And then, well, not completely. They've half-assed it is the better word for it. And then for the Habs, they have the most cups, so I kind of get where that entitlement comes from. The Leafs, I mean, I guess because they're one of the older franchises and they're one of the original six, but at the same time, it's like you guys haven't won anything since 67, and you haven't even been in the finals since 67. Yeah, you can laugh at the Flyers because we haven't won anything since 75, but again, the Flyers have had 6 attempts at it. It's just bad luck on drawing dynasties half the time. The Maple Leafs haven't even sniffed it. I mean, the Sens doesn't make any sense, though, because it's like, what have the Sens really done? They won 1 President's Trophy, and then they got to the finals 1 time, and they lost that time in the finals to the Ducks. So, again, I don't see where the entitlement comes from on the Sens fans. That's just very confusing. I mean, at least Calgary, Vancouver, and Winnipeg are realistic on that. You know, you give them that one.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jesse's saying, you think the Lightning will go back? I mean, I'm sticking to it because, you know, like I said before, I picked it earlier in the season. I will never turn back on a pick if I've done it. I have to change to Vegas if they lose tonight. So, but you know what? That's what I rolled with. I rolled with Tampa winning and doing a 3-peat, so I'm sticking with it.
Well, I promise you one thing: it's not going to be easy for Tampa Bay.
No, it will not be.
Ready for this stat? I haven't seen this stat this crazy in a long time. The Eastern Conference currently has 6 teams. 6 teams with 100-plus points in their standings.
Yep.
The Eastern Conference is going to be so fucking wild. Let's go.
It will be, man.
Can't wait.
It will be. Anthony's saying the Sixers picked up Ben Simmons 2.0 and James Harden afraid to shoot. Lazy passes. Always complaining.
Wait,
and then,
Ben Simmons 2.0. Ben
well,
Simmons 2.0.
That's what Anthony says.
Rich Harden's only missed a handful of games. Ben Simmons hasn't played a single game since June of last year. 2.0. He still shoots more than Ben Simmons, too. I'll take Rich Harden. Or I always fucking do this. I'm not referring to the baseball player. James Harden, I will take. Is he not playing to expectations? Yeah. He's definitely not playing to expectations. But I will take James Harden every day and twice on Sunday over Ben Simmons. He's a professional spectator, and I want his job.
And Jesse's saying Habs fans are also obnoxious with the cup talk. Like, bro, we're talking at what, 5-team league? Yeah, during that golden period with Maurice Richard and Andrei Richard and Jacques Plante and everything back in the day.
Well, last cup they won was what, 92?
93.
93?
Yeah, they beat Gretzky and the Kings in the finals. That was the last time.
Right,
oh, and they beat Toronto to get to that final. LA did to get to that final,
right, and Pittsburgh, Montreal, and then the Rangers in 92, 93, 94.
Yes.
Okay.
And then and then 93, I think, actually, funny enough, I think that's like the turning point because that's when not only did the playoff format change the following year in 94 when they started doing the 1-8 format, but also I felt like the 90s started to come in at that point where defensive hockey started to slowly take over the game, come around that time because the Devils were starting to really emerge, and then you also had other defensive teams like Buffalo starting to find their groove. So, you know, that was where I think the transition really started beginning in hockey. And unfortunately, the Flyers fell victim to that during that period of time. But anyway, Jesse's saying, but then again, Phillies have been here since 1883 and have 14 postseasons. So congrats, Habs. Yeah, but they do have 2 World Series to their names. So there is that going for the Phils. So, hey, there's some teams that have been around that have never been to the World Series.
Wait. Wait, hang on.
Sure, go.
Wait. I'm just trying to wrap my head around this real quick. If I'm reading this stat correctly, and it's processing in my mush of a brain right now, are you sitting there telling me, Jesse, like seriously, that the Phillies have been to the postseason 14 times since 1883? Because I really hope I'm taking this stat wrong. Please tell me I'm taking that stat wrong. Because
did you mean 1983? Well, no, you can't mean 1983 because the Phillies went to the World Series in 1983.
There's no way I'm taking this stat right. There's no way. There's no possible way I'm reading that stat right. Oh my God, Eileen, have a lovely night.
Eileen, you have a pleasant evening. And then we got Mark Hooven.
I was right. Mark, what's up, bro?
We got Mark Hooven here. He's saying, I was just saying how it's crazy that the Bruins have 103 points that are in a wild card spot. I know, right? It's freaking crazy to think about that.
Of the 8 playoff teams right now.
Yeah.
Have
the 100-point standard.
Pittsburgh,
Jesus.
Boston, Carolina, the Rangers, Washington, and Toronto.
All 100 points across the board. Jesus. It's crazy,
Tampa,
right?
Wait, I think it's Tampa. I think I put the wrong team in there.
And Florida only has 16 losses and 6 OTLs on the season. Imagine having a season like that, where that's basically what, like 70% of the time you're winning a hockey game? Like, holy shit. Maybe even more than that.
They've only lost 1 or 2 games since Giroux got traded over there.
Problem is, though, is that they're obviously going to win the President's Trophy. So it was nice. While it was a hopeful chance that Giroux would,
that might be wrong.
But,
Hold up.
Anyway,
I think that stat's wrong. Scroll down, damn it.
And then Jesse was saying, yes, Brian. But he is saying, Jesse, yes, Brian, that's completely true, unfortunately. And then Hoven said the Phillies really aren't a great organization as a whole.
No, they're not, because you know what? They were the first Major League Baseball team to hit 10,000 losses. 10,000 losses.
Hey, listen, you gotta be in the record book somehow. If it isn't going to be for the most championships in your division or the World Series, be the most losingest team. You'll be remembered forever.
I was wrong. And I'm okay with being wrong on this one. All 8 playoff teams right now have 100 points. Every team that's in a playoff spot right now has 100 points.
Yep.
I was wrong about that. It wasn't 6, it's all 8. What the hell? I'm glad. I am glad I'm not any of these Eastern Conference teams right now. Because this is probably going to be the most unpredictable Eastern Conference in the history, or in my, at least, existence of watching playoff hockey.
What's going on, brother?
Yo, Trev, what's up? I see Brinks in the house. You can check out Brinks on Sports Hounds every Monday, and he also does a rant booth with our good friend John Coyle on Saturday morning. So you definitely check them out.
Absolutely. And Brinks says checking in live from Vegas. I think Vegas is sitting this out. Ooh, okay.
I agree with you, Brinks. I agree with you. I'm going to have the game. Game should be starting any moment.
Yeah, I got it up on ESPN Plus. It hasn't begun just yet, but it will soon. And then let's see here. Jesse saying, I hate that the NBA playoffs have started and the NHL hasn't. Makes the end of the season drag. I'm so ready for playoff hockey. No, trust me, we all are. But there were some COVID delays during the regular season. I think that had a slight effect on it. But it wasn't anything drastic, just a handful of it in Canada and a few other teams in the U.S. Briggs saying Florida in 6. Interesting.
Also saying Florida and Edmonton in the Cup Finals. That's
intriguing.
I don't like Edmonton enough to get out of the second round. I don't like Edmonton enough to get out of the first round.
Yeah,
you got Draisaitl and McDavid. That's all well and good, but there's not a whole ton of depth there.
Yeah.
And the defense is You got some good players on defense, but that goaltending is not going to carry them to the finals. But I agree. I agree with Rob. I think regardless of who you're pulling for, I think your Stanley Cup winner is coming out of Florida.
And he said in 15-2 since Giroux has been on the Panthers. Nice little stat to throw out there.
And
Mark said
I think he's averaging a little more than a point a game.
Which, again, remember, Giroux always sucked for the Flyers. He was never good. And that's why we had to trade him.
Oh, he was terrible. He sucked.
Yeah, it was brutal. Horrible to watch for like 10 years and even more playing for the Flyers. Mark saying, any thoughts about why Noah Cates only played about 10 minutes in last night's game? Yeah, he's not hurt. But
just wasn't playing well.
It could be that. I mean, at this point, they're really trying to see what youth wants to, show something a little bit right now. Like we've been saying, see what they have. So
I mean, I like Noah Cates. I've liked what I've seen from him so far. Mm-hmm. He was probably just having an off night.
Yeah, it could be that.
Sometimes when they're having an off night, especially with the younger, they're gonna take the ice time away a little bit. I don't really know. I didn't really watch the game last couple games. Honestly, I've had no desire to watch the Flyers. Is that bad? Especially since we cover them. Is that bad?
I mean, I have been watching them, or at least the highlights when I haven't. I don't want to, though. My heart's not in it, if that kind of justifies it,
I think that's probably why I haven't. Like, I haven't really even watched Anaheim because they're out of the playoffs too. I had to watch the game on Sunday though. Getzlaf's last game.
Yeah, I got you.
I didn't even get out of the pregame before crying. I'm not ashamed to admit that.
The waterfall, just the tears.
It was such a touching ceremony for him. Like, how do you not? Like,
no, I get it.
Not even just a Ducks fan. Like, just as a guy who appreciates hockey and appreciates Ryan Getzlaf for what he's done, and I'm sure we'll talk a little bit more about this later on in the show. But
yeah.
How do you not appreciate Ryan Getzlaf for what he's done?
No,
he's have the respect that he should have from every fan base. Like, he's. It's going to be weird. It's going to be weird watching the game without seeing 15. And the next time we do see 15, it's going to be in the rafters.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's one of the best Ducks players of all time, one of the best Ducks captains of all time. So, I mean, you can't argue with, his impact on the team. So,
very fitting, though, that in the closing minutes and like within the last 3 minutes or so, Getzlaf did his patented no-look pass to Adam Henrique and popped one more point to tie the all-time franchise record of points in the Honda Center. He was 1 point behind Timu, and now he's tied with him forever.
There you go. It's a very fitting end right there. Trev saying he's very happy he bought a Panthers season ticket so he could see a Panthers playoffs game, which is always nice to see a playoff game. And Mark saying, "I don't."
It's going to be an electric environment.
And he says, "I don't see." Mark saying, "I don't see Edmonton in the Stanley Cup Finals." I tend to agree. Same. We got Ryan chiming in. What's up, Ryan? Saying, "Gentlemen, what's going on, dude?" Trev saying that shout out to Brian Burke for keeping Perry and Getzlaf in the minors so they're not complete stooges like Sergei Fedorov during his Ducks tenure. Then again, you might be forgiven for forgetting Sergei Fedorov did play for the Ducks. Also that he played for the Capitals at the very tail end of his career too.
He did. I forgot about that. Yeah,
the only reason I remember that is because he was on that Capitals team in the 2008 quarterfinal series against the Flyers. Him and Donald Brashear, ironically, and Brashear scored on us. That was the first goal of the series, too. Like, what the fuck? Brashear just scored on us? What the hell's going on?
He had like 5 goals in his career.
I know, right? But anyway, it's funny where people go.
Mark, always a pleasure having you jump on, bro.
Yes, always. Take it easy, brother. And if Ryan would say Sergei's my favorite player.
I love Sergei with Detroit.
He was a
stud, but after he left Detroit, it kind of all went downhill.
And Dylan saying Flames versus Lightning in the finals. Flames win in 6 to come full circle from the 2004 when they should have won Game 6 then. Interesting. And boy, if that happened, holy shit! I don't know if the universe would be able to take it. Honestly, that's freaking nuts to think about. That almost the exact same thing plays out from 2004. Only difference is it does it in the opposite direction, where the Flames win, and they win it in overtime too on a reviewed call that actually goes to the Flames on a call that wasn't reviewable back in the day when they didn't win Game 6.
Here's my question. Who's the new Iginla Le Cavalier bout? If that's the series that happens, who's going to be the two? Who's Patrick Maroon going to throw down with from Calgary?
Oh,
that's what I want to know, because I got a funny feeling that's going to wind up being or is it going to be Stammer and shit? Who's the captain over there now? Do they have one? I'm trying to think of who's wearing the C, or are they?
Dylan will let us know. He said Lucic.
Yes, Lucic. Yeah. All right, big game underway here, going down in Dallas, Vegas versus Stars.
Yep.
Essentially, winner gets a playoff spot.
Yeah, Dylan's saying no captain in Calgary right now, and then Trevor's saying, "Well, who's the new Martin Jelena?" It's a good question.
Ooh, I like that. I like Dylan here. He says Kachuk and Palat.
Interesting.
Yes.
There you go. You go. Interesting. SJM86 saying, "Let's go,
What up?
Stanley Cup. Woo! Wait a minute. Oh, glad to see you fellas are doing well." Yeah, he paused for a second and realized, oh wait, the Flyers aren't in the playoffs, are they? Yeah, they're definitely not. They're second from the bottom in the East.
We don't have to be punished anymore, but just watching that hot trash.
Yeah, we can take solace in knowing that the Flyers are done for the season. Anyway, Don, what's going on, brother?
What's up, D-Money?
He's saying this season sucks. Hey, listen, even though Dallas didn't make the playoffs, they showed something this year. They showed a hell of a lot more than the Flyers did. So,
did they call it?
Take a deep breath. What'd they just call?
Yep, they're gonna call it. They're gonna call hooking on. What is that? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I see it. Oh yeah. Yeah, he tried to let go of his stick to try and say, no, I didn't do it, but he's doing it to Pavelski. Pavelski knows exactly what the fuck to do right there. That's a stupid decision.
Felt it and went down. Yeah, it looked like it was Kevin Roy.
Wait, it's not. It's Kevin
Roy.
Oh, it's not Wah. Oh, god damn it. Of course they would have someone named Roy on their fucking team when they got Nick
He's a former
Wah.
Duck. That's the only reason why I know who he is.
Jesus. Still, though, it figures. It's like when the Sharks had two Ryan Merkleys on the team. They weren't related, had the same fucking name until they traded the one. And then there were there's two Sebastian Ahos in the league, and they're not related either. Like, god damn it, guys. The fuck is going on?
No, dude, they don't even play the same position either. One's a defenseman and one's a right winger.
I know, right? What the fuck?
Dallas Stars on the power play, currently 52 for 233. It makes them good for 12th in the NHL. And power penalty kill for Vegas, currently at 77.7%, good for 21st in the NHL. We're looking at a couple different reasons why Vegas is probably going to get eliminated from playoff contention.
Trev, I think the Flyers have one more game, and it's against Ottawa, and that's a Friday game. So that's their last one, and that'll be at home, I believe, to finish off this shit heap of a season. Anyway, Jesse's saying Lightning versus Colorado Stanley Cup final, which could have been the case in 2020 in the bubble had Colorado not suffered all those injuries and got themselves eliminated in the semis. The year that they got eliminated by Vegas, I blame that on the President's Trophy victory. Never win that fucker. All right.
Colorado needs their goaltender. They need some great goaltending to finally get over the hump. The rest of the roster's fine. They have one of the best defenses. They have one of the best special teams. They have an offense that is from top to bottom just unbelievably loaded. But goaltending's been their issue the last couple of years, and they have to really their goalie needs to absolutely step up.
Don saying, "Don't worry, Colorado, we'll choke again."
They probably will. They probably will. That's why I don't have them in my Stanley Cup final.
And Dylan saying a wild brawl almost broke out between Nashville and Calgary. Duchesne speared Kachuk, and it sparked the madness. God damn. And you know what the crazy part is? Those two teams are probably most likely playoff opponents, and that's where all this is going to. So, you know what? Holy shit. And Jesse saying he has Lightning in 7 in that series.
A lot of people have them repeating. That's interesting. That's interesting because right now they're sitting third in their division.
Well, you know, here's the thing.
Very interesting.
Well, here's the thing. Besides the repeat year, here's the thing. The Lightning were never favored the 2 years that they won the Cup. You know, everybody was looking past them in the bubble because they had that real bad choke the year before against Columbus when they got swept. And then they go on to have that run, and they go on to win the Stanley Cup in the bubble. The following year, no one's really looking at them. They're all looking at Colorado and other teams. Tampa does it again. Now people are looking at them three-peating, even though they're not favored. Maybe. Like, when they're not favored, they go on that run. When they were favored, they were fucking up left and right. Goes to that saying of when no one suspects you, that's when you make shit happen. You know, they've done it twice now. So, who knows?
I mean, yeah, but, well, I mean, I guess you bring up a solid point there because you know what? Nobody suspected St. Louis when they won it. Nobody suspected Washington when they won it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the limelight that gives some of these teams an issue.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe, but let's be real. Are we really going to see another team three-peat since the New York Islanders?
Hey, listen, who knows? This is a big chance. I mean, Pittsburgh, look at it this way, and I hate to say this. If Pittsburgh had beaten Washington for the third straight time in their meetings in the semifinals, I don't think they get stopped. I think Tampa loses to them again, and unfortunately, I think they beat the Golden Knights. I didn't want to see it happen, but there was a very possible chance that team could have done it again. So if Washington hadn't stopped them, which thank God they did, who knows what would have happened. So who knows? If someone can't stop Tampa, maybe they do it. Maybe they can do it.
I mean, yeah, I get what you're saying, Trev, but they were not looked at as a Cup favorite last year. That's kind of where I'm going with it. Is, you know, there's a lot of people sitting there saying that the Lightning are going to be the team to beat. And, yeah, they are. They're defending two-time champ back-to-back, but they've got some teams have gotten better around them. So that's kind of why I'm like they're sitting third and you know, there's – hang on, let me look.
What's up, Damien?
I remember off the top of my head. What's up, Damien? That's our brother from down under. So Tampa Bay sitting at 106. There is 4 teams with more points ahead of them. I don't know that's not going to mean anything going into the playoffs, but I'm just trying to figure out how to twist this around and turn this into a conversation. So.
And Ryan's saying Carolina will win it all versus Calgary. They're the two best defensive teams. Carolina is better defensively. They do need to get their goalie back, but they'll be fine. Carolina is scary good. Flames too, but not like Carolina. They're all out and don't stop. I love Roddy, my favorite Flyer. Workout warrior, same as Coach too.
Yeah, and I get it. I'm still fairly big on Carolina myself, and they are scary. But once they get a healthy Freddie Anderson back, that is going to make them a better team. But it was brought up to my attention, I forget, was it on this show? It might have been on the show, that they don't really have a superstar to lean on. They have good players. You know, you have Sebastian Aho, Teuvo Teravainen, Jordan Staal, Jacob Slavin, bunch of studs in this lineup. So don't get it twisted in me saying that this team is bad in any stretch. But you don't really have a superstar. They're going up against a bunch of teams that have superstars in their roster.
True.
I mean, if you look at Florida, they're loaded with superstars. Tampa Bay is loaded with superstars. Boston's got outside of the perfection line, which I think got broken up, but they got 3 superstars. It's just
I hear what you're saying, but hey,
I agree with Calgary, though. I think Calgary goes.
The stranger things have happened, though. I mean, just because you're the best team on paper don't mean you're going to win the series. A good team can match up well against you and shut you down. Hell, the Canadians last year shut down Vegas, and they went to the Stanley Cup Finals. So there you go.
Away from going to Game 7. If Montreal took it to Game 7, they were going to take that cup net last year. Yeah. I really did. I was riding high on the Habs wave.
That was crazy last year, but. Crazy as it is, time to look at this year, and we go to the Western Conference. Time for us to dive into that. That'll be our first period topic to discuss. But before we do that, we love all the interaction from you guys here in the comments, which is brought to you by Gleason's Bar. It's located 6700 Mill Creek Ave in Levittown, PA. You can use promo code A2D for 10% off your order whenever you dine in, take out, or you go online at Gleason'sBarandSteaks.com. Get yourself some nice food. And, if you're ever in the Levittown, PA, check them out. It's definitely worth it.
Yeah, I hear they got a great steak. And when I come home in June, I plan on hitting that place up, and they got like a pork roll cheesesteak. Oh, you best believe that I'm going to get that.
You're sinking your teeth into some of that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. So we talk about the Western Conference, even though it is not fully determined, because obviously the game tonight will determine whether or not things will go. The road to the postseason is with a win in regulation for Vegas, they would earn 2 more points over Dallas. With a win in OT or a shootout loss, or with a loss in OT or a shootout, Vegas will have a shot. That's basically what just popped up on the feed that I'm looking at, which is Vegas's. All right, so on to Ryan said, "You better hit me up, Bri, when you come up."
Soupy, remind me.
All right, so whoever wins this wild little race we got going on here for that final wildcard spot, most likely they're taking on Colorado. So let's take a look at it from this perspective. Say Colorado takes on Vegas. Who you got in that series?
That'll be a tough series. I think it's going to be. I think that's going to be a better series than people think it would be. If that's the case, I would take Colorado, mainly because of the special teams factor there. If Vegas is even remotely careless with penalties and putting themselves in the box, Colorado's just going to do a bang-up job of really taking advantage of that. They do have one of the best power plays in the league. Their penalty kill is pretty solid as well. There's a reason why they're one of the top teams in the NHL. The thing that's going to come down to if Vegas plays Colorado in that series, who's going to have the better goaltending? And right now it's leaning towards Colorado. Robin Lehner's out for the remainder of the year. And then I don't even know who their backup is anymore. I'm assuming it's this dude Thompson that's in. I've personally never heard of him. But that's going to play the huge factor, and that's going to be the X factor in that series if it winds up being Vegas and Colorado. It's going to come down to goaltending. Maddie? Oh, I got abandoned. Oh, no. All right, so real quick, we got a little update. We're about halfway through the first period here. Still nothing game between Vegas and Dallas. Shots in favor of Dallas, 5-2. And they have had pretty much control of the time of possession here earlier in the first. Vegas is really starting to make some noise, but, it's good 2-on-1 opportunity there for Hintz. Unable to cash in on that. Vegas in the Dallas zone now, looking for a man in front. Eichel wasn't there.
So you were talking about the special teams factor on Colorado. Who do you think has the advantage goaltender-wise in terms of this? I mean, it should be obvious that it be Colorado. Do you disagree with that at all?
Not one bit. I mean, even if Robin Lehner was still in net, I would still give the edge to Colorado because at least, if they lose Francois or however you say his last name,
Francois.
They have Francois. Okay, so they still have is Dubnyk still there? They have a couple goaltenders. I'm forgetting who they have. I know they've made a couple moves for goaltenders, but I think they have Darcy Kemper. if I'm not mistaken. I believe Darcy Kemper's in Colorado now. So they lose him. You still got Kemper to back him up. So here you got Lanier, solid goaltender, or this guy Thompson, who I've never heard of. So that to me is it's going to make or break Vegas moving on here in the next couple games as we wrap up the regular season.
I got you. All right, then. And Dylan's saying Flames still lead 1-0 after the first. Kachuk's trying to fight the whole Preds team before walking into the locker room.
Of course, he's like his dad. He just doesn't back down.
Yeah.
Ooh,
all right.
Great scoring opportunity there for Vegas.
So for me, I will say that this one does go to Colorado if it does wind up being them in Vegas. As much as I originally thought Vegas was going to finally get over the hump and get into the Stanley Cup Finals, that was midway through the year. A lot has changed midway through the year, whereas this team started to really lose it, and they may very well finish that cycle of falling apart right here, right now. But again, it's been a rough go of it for Vegas in this second half of the season. First half started out strong, looked like it was going to be another prototypical season for Vegas, where they were going to have a playoff spot, pretty much lock, stock, and barrel. Now they've put themselves in this position. So, yeah, injuries had something to do with it, but at the same time, lack of goaltending really didn't help anything. Yeah, I would go with Colorado in this series. I think Colorado would win it, and they would probably win it in –
it'd be 5.
I was thinking 5. I wasn't sure if it was going to be 5 or a sweep, but you know what? I think I'll go with 5.
It's probably going to be 5 because Vegas is going to be able to steal 1. The only way I could see Vegas even winning that series is by outscoring Colorado. But I don't think I think in that series, I don't think they can. I don't think they'll be able to keep up, especially with the backup goaltender in that. I mean, who knows? Because who knows? Maybe this dude Thompson gets hot and upsets.
Maybe
you never really know. But if we're looking at paper right now, if we're looking at paper right now and how this Vegas team has played all season long, I don't see it happening.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like you said though, we didn't know who the fuck Matt Murray was, and they went on to win the cup with the Pittsburgh, but that was the Penguins, and they had Crosby in that whole thing. So it's a little bit of a different game, but still, no one knew who the fuck Murray was.
Yeah, but you also got to think they were still one of the better special teams
You're right.
in the league as well too. So, they took advantage of having teams in the penalty box, and they killed off their penalties, and they played great 5-on-5, and they supported Murray, played great defense in front. I was just a really well-built team. And even without Marc-Andre Fleury, I mean, when Marc-Andre Fleury is your lead guy and your backup still wins you a cup with Marc-Andre Fleury, that says a lot about your goaltending and your leadership from your number one guy to be able to move that to a rookie and win back-to-back cups. So that says a lot about not just the players on that team, but the coaching staff as well.
And they managed to do it twice, like you said. So it's pretty impressive that they were able to accomplish that. So we transition over from – and by the way, if Vegas was to meet Colorado in the first round, it would be a rematch of last year's semifinal contest in the West Division final, basically.
It's going to be that.
Yeah. So, on to our next bout, and it would be the other situation that currently is what we will have if things stay the same tonight, and that is Dallas versus Colorado. Dallas was, last year, they pissed away a surefire spot in the playoffs at the last minute. They got very streaky and cost themselves that spot to Nashville. No offense to Nashville, because they played hard to get back into it. But all the same, Dallas probably should have been in the playoffs, and especially coming off of 2 years ago when they went all the way to the final. So now Dallas is in this playoff spot. They hold on tonight. They're in. They would face the Vegas Golden Knights. How would Dallas fare against Vegas in a playoff series? Because Dallas they've had their injury problems, which they normally do, but they've survived them. And they've had their streaky moments, as they also do. They're the best streakers in the NHL. They love to go hot and cold. What do you think about this team? I mean, they're playing well right now. Do you think that they would be able to take it to Colorado, or do you think Colorado still wins this series?
I mean, I think they'll have a little bit more fight in them against a team like Colorado. Again, I think it's just going to come down. I think I like Dallas a little more defensively than I like Vegas. Believe it or not, I think they're a little bit grittier. I think they play a little bit more of a physical game, which I think is going to slow down the Avalanche. My question is, again, I think it's going to be another situation where you got to look at the goaltending in this series. I know Dallas can score, but whose goaltender is gonna stand out a little bit more? Who's gonna steal the games for them? With the physicality of the Dallas Stars, I think they're able to slow down the Colorado Avalanche. I think they can absolutely. What
happened? Oh, Heather?
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know what that is. Anyway, I think the physicality of the Dallas Stars can absolutely slow down the Colorado Avalanche team. I think that can definitely wear them down. If Dallas's goaltender can steal a game or two from them, I think if they go back to Dallas with at least a split, because we know that Colorado's going to have home ice throughout, and I think if they can go back, Tommy, what's up, brother? I like Dallas's chances, especially if they could take 1 out of 2 in the first 2.
All right,
and then they obviously they got to make sure they at least get 1 at home before going back to Colorado. But I like Dallas. I think their power play's been really good all season long. I think it's again another series that's going to come down to goaltending. It's just going to be. It is what it is. It's 2 borderline good goaltenders pretty much going up against a high-powered offense and an offense that can kill you physically. And that physical play will turn into goals. And that's what Dallas has done all season long. But again, I do like them defensively better. Dallas just needs to stay out of the box.
Big hit that just happened in Vegas. One of the players just nailed one of the Stars right down to the ice.
Oh, yeah, I just saw it.
But
no, that wasn't Heiskanen, was it?
I don't think so. But for that series, it would be interesting. Nebraska saying that the Florida Panthers will win this year's Stanley Cup. And I would say in this series, Vegas against Dallas, I think Dallas would put up a fight, a little bit more of a fight than Vegas would. Colorado and Dallas, because I'm watching it. Colorado and Dallas, I would say that Dallas would put up more of a fight, and I think that series would probably go 6. I think that it would be a battle, and I think it would be one of those, okay, that was pretty tough, but that's good for Colorado. It'll toughen them up a little bit going further into the playoffs. I think they still win it, but at the same time, I think it'll be good for Colorado. You face a tough opponent in the first round, kind of wakes you up a little bit and say, all right, it's game time. Time to play, it's the real games now, get focused.
I mean, of the 2 teams we're talking about to possibly play Colorado, I like Dallas's chances better than like Vegas's myself. Again, Vegas has been a team that's struggled all year in specific areas, and they've had to deal with injuries, and Eichel's come in, and they just haven't been the same team that they were. Dallas, on the other hand, started off a little slowly, and they dug themselves in a hole. But they've managed to climb out of it, and they had goaltending issues early on, but they're all right now. The power play for them has been really good all season long. Like I said, they're in the top 15. They're 12th going into this game. I think it was like 22% or something like that. So they're above the league average.
Yeah. So
it's just if they can wear down Colorado physically, I think you can see. I agree. This is going to be at least a 6-game series.
Yeah, and I think that Dallas would be they'll be way more feistier in that series than from what I would see from the Golden Knights. I mean, because it's been a lot of real big heroes that have shown up for Dallas in the later portion of the season. Robertson, Hintz, those are just a couple of examples of guys who've gotten clutch goals, and Heiskanen's been having his job done. And Ottinger has stepped up big time in goal after, injuries once again plagued Dallas with Ben Bishop and everything, who cannot stay healthy for the life of him.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, for sure. And then even with the situation with Holtby, that kind of settled that situation down. But even if you want to go a little bit deeper with Dallas, I mean, you still got Joe Pavelski, guy who's been there, Jamie Benn, a guy who's been there. These two guys are not just guys who can create offense; these are guys that play physical as well. Especially Jamie Benn. Jamie Benn's he's gonna hit you. He's gonna wear down your body. He's gonna wear you out. And then he's gonna pop a couple goals for you too. So.
Always
like I said, this is going to be if that winds up being what it is, and we will hopefully find out before the end of the show.
Hopefully,
that could be a very entertaining series to watch.
It could be, and I always loved Jamie Benn's play. I always wanted him on the Flyers because he's just such a great physical power forward like player who can also score on top of it. It's like you gotta love those players. They're tough to stop.
Mm-hmm.
But
I also think, real quick before we move on to the next one here,
sure.
Even the addition of Ryan Sutter, I think it was such an under the radar move for the defense. His experience and his leadership that he's brought I think he's made Miro that much better playing on his pairing.
I agree, and that's always important to have with that veteran leadership. All right, so now on to our next battle in the Western Conference, and that would be a game that's currently going on tonight as a bit of a preview, and it's already gotten feisty over there, and that is Calgary and Nashville. These two teams have never met before in the playoffs, so it'll be very interesting to see how these two would match up against each other for the very first time.
Wow.
So it'll be very, very interesting.
No, not even that.
What?
Matthews potted number 60.
Wow. Well done on Matthews. He is just him and McDavid. McDavid had that freaking almost what was it, 100-point season last year during that shortened season, and now Matthews this year is just killing it on the goal scoring. Like Jesus.
Yeah. I think McDavid's goal scoring is taking a little bit of a backseat to the helpers, but he's still producing. He's still doing what Connor McDavid does, and that's just silly stuff. And by silly, I mean he's just that good. He just makes everybody else look silly.
Anthony's saying he likes Nashville in that series.
No, sorry.
So
I don't like Nashville at all in that series.
So, Bri, all right. So, in this matchup between Calgary and the Catfish people's favorite team, the Nashville Predator, what do you got in that series? You have, I think you gave it away there after Anthony said, I like Nashville.
It's nothing against Nashville. I just hate that fucking fan base. They're so annoying.
You don't like the Catfish people.
They are so annoying. The people in Nashville are great from what I hear, but the fan base is just annoying. No, but I like Calgary better. Calgary's been one of the most dominant teams and one of the most deep teams throughout the NHL season, all season long. Jacob Markstrom's back to being a stud goaltender. That defense I thought was going to take a hit. Losing Mark Giordano in the expansion draft, that defense is playing just as well without him as they did with him. Mm-hmm. The offense has found a spark too. So Daryl Sutter has done a great job of utilizing guys for their talents and not just necessarily making them who they are or what he wants them to be. You got Johnny Gaudreau who's producing in more than just assists. He's popping goals here and there, but you got Matthew Tkachuk who's been the top guy. Mangiapane has just absolutely exploded this year. We expected him to break out within the next year or two, but he's been a stud. Dubé has been really good for Calgary as well, and their special teams has been outstanding as well. That's one of the things and I know I'm going to bring it up in every series, so I'm going to say this now. Special teams absolutely helps win cups. I'm just saying, especially when it comes to the playoffs. Regular season, maybe could win you a game or two, but when it comes to playoff series, special teams will win you a cup. If you can take advantage of a team being in the box, it's going to win you hockey games. It's going to win you a series.
Same as goaltending. You know, if a goalie can snag you a game or two that you don't deserve, you know.
And this is one of those series where goaltending isn't going to be an issue because you have two solid goaltenders on each side. This is going to be a barn burner of a series.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's going 6. I think Nashville loses the series. I think Calgary's just the better team. I like that Matt Duchene's found his game again. Ryan Johansson's been a guy who's starting to find his game again. The defense has been solid all year long. Roman Yossi's doing what he does naturally. Nashville's a good team. Calgary is just better, in my opinion. But that doesn't always go the way I intended. But I have Calgary. I have Calgary in 6 on this one.
All right. And then Anthony said, I've been to Nashville, but it's okay. They just know football. When I was in Nashville, I wear my Flyer stuff, and they said, nice shirt. Well, there you go. Yeah. And I will say...
Great city, though.
I would say this series, I think it goes to... and Vegas just scored. So it is 1-0 Vegas before the end of the first period.
Off a huge hit, too, which sparked the turnover.
Yep. And who was the one who got it there?
Glendening.
Okay. So 1-0 Vegas.
No. Is it Will Carrier? Carrier. Sorry, I always.
It was Carrier. Oh, okay. So Carrier gets the goal for the Vegas Golden Knights. It looked like it took a weird bounce off of the D-man and went into the back of the net.
Was it Carrier? It looks like Carrier. Zooms in.
At first,
I don't know who it is.
They thought it was Stevenson at first, but I think they're going to give it to Carrier because
Carrier went off a Glendenning stick.
Okay, then yeah, so it did take that weird hop. All right, boy, that always sucks when those go in. Hey, what's up, Prism?
What's up, Priz? That's a hard time to let up a goal is within that final minute of play there. It's going to give Vegas a lot of momentum going into the second period, and they have a lot to lose tonight.
Yeah, they're 30-11-2, by the way, when getting the first goal. Dallas is 11-20-4 when allowing the first goal. So, all right. So let's see here. For me, I would say Calgary and Nashville. I think that this series, I think it goes 7. And the reason why I think Saros snags a game that Nashville shouldn't get, but I think they can do. I think he can do that, and I think he will. And obviously, I think Markstrom will show really good strength too. I could see it being where Saros wins a game 6 in Nashville and the Catfish people go crazy, and then they go back to Calgary and Markstrom does a back at you and has a great performance and stuns Nashville out of the playoffs. I could absolutely see that both of them going tit for tat there at the end of that series and just showing their talent off before the next round.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. This is going to be a very even series. I think this is going to be one of the better series of the playoffs. And that's if that winds up being the series. I don't think that's a lock. I don't think it's a lock, but if that winds up being the series, especially after what we're seeing early on, or I shouldn't say early on, what we're seeing right now as they've played each other twice, I believe, in the last couple of games. I have this being a great series, but I have Calgary being the better team.
First of saying, Brian, you're going to love this. Been talking to one of my managers about trying to get into hockey. He said he doesn't know what to watch for, and showed him Zegras, Michigan, and his Michigan flip pass.
Oh, what did he say?
Let's see.
That's a great way to get him going.
He started looking for a way to watch a Ducks game before the season ends.
Oh, that's going to be tough because I think they have one game left.
Although, do they archive some of the games on ESPN Plus?
I don't think so.
Damn.
Not that I've been able to see.
That would have been my suggestion. Dylan saying refs better keep their whistles away come the playoffs. Everything is called these games versus the Preds. Well, that's usually what happens usually refs, they like to calm it down when the whistles come playoff time, unless something real serious happens, and they call everything.
And I'm fine with that. Let them play in the playoffs. You don't want to be that guy that's like, oh well, my one call here screwed this team out of potentially winning a Stanley Cup. What's up, Pete?
What's up, Pete? What's going on, dude?
Hope you're doing well, my brother.
Yeah, man. And let's see. Anthony's saying, I think Calgary will let their guard down and the Preds will win the series because the Flames figure they will easily beat the Preds. I don't know if Calgary will necessarily do that. I think Calgary would respect them enough to, play up to them, especially if they're getting into fights in this series, in this game tonight. But I will say that, has it happened? Yes, it has absolutely happened. Teams have let their guard down on teams that are lower in the standings on them and have been punted right out of the playoffs, and everybody starts pointing and laughing at them for how terrible they played in the series.
Well, the one thing also you got to remember too is, these two teams for the most part are would be going into the playoffs pretty healthy.
Yes.
So they're not going to be really missing anybody huge. And if everything that Dylan is saying is going on right now, and from what he said in his last comment, there's about 40 plus PIMs in the game.
Yeah, like right here.
It's going to make for a very interesting playoff series. And you know what? I'm telling you, and to me, it doesn't matter who wins the series. Do I want Calgary to win? Yeah. This might be the most entertaining series of the first round, and we don't even know if that's a lock yet.
And Prism saying Dallas and Vegas and Mass again tonight. That is why we are throwing out some live reactions to it. And yes, Vegas is up 1-0 at the end of one. Hey, look who came to party. It's Dan. He said, hey, are the Canucks in the playoffs?
Nope. Are the Ducks? Nope. Are the Flyers?
Nope. Nope. Are the Ducks? Nope.
Nope.
No one's in, damn it.
Ducks weren't in. They canceled the playoffs.
Yep, that's it. Show's over. Let's go home, boys. All right.
Yeah, we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, or next season. Who knows?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm saying, Prism, why would you show him the boring Ducks? Oh, my God.
Boring. Wow. Hey, Don, are the Wings? Nope.
Nope.
No, but I mean, the one I like, the thing I like about this series between Calgary and Nashville, and Dylan actually brought it up, is Daryl Sutter. Daryl Sutter is a guy who he just knows how to get the best out of his players, and he's been getting the absolute best out of his team since taking over as the head coach. And he's just one of those guys. No slacking.
Jimmy.
And Jimmy, what's up, Jimmy? He is the reason why he's a two-time Stanley Cup champ coach. So I think there's a good chance that he winds up being a 3-time Stanley Cup coach this year.
Well,
this Calgary team is just unreal.
Well, Dylan has something to say about this. As Daryl Sutter won't let them slack. He'd adjust lineups, bench players, etc. If they lose in the first round, a lot of trades happening in the offseason. Pretty sure the only one staying would be Tkachuk, Lindholm, and Gaudreau on offense.
I'll take Sean Monahan in Anaheim. Bye.
And Dylan say, technically a 3-time champ going for his 4th.
What's the third one?
I'm trying to remember what team that was. Because
what am I missing? I don't remember getting him to get into the cup with anybody else.
I think he did get to the final with another team. I don't know if he won it though. I don't know. We'll have to look that up because I'm not 100% sure on that one. Anyway, Jimmy saying, who had the most disappointing? What? Oh, that's right. He was the 2004 Flames. Yep, that's right.
He didn't win that one.
He did not win it, but I know. I think Dylan's playing. I think Dylan's doing a little revisionist history. It's okay. It's all right. Let him have it. His team's in the playoffs. He's feeling that playoff juice.
Jimmy,
That's me, Dan. Just high school photo back there.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see what he's saying. Okay. All right, Dylan. I'm following you now, bro. I got
Yeah,
you.
the puck was in on game 6.
It was
Yeah,
in. It was in.
good old game 6. Good old game 6.
Puck was in. Laces out. Jimmy, what's good, bro? You can catch Jimmy and Evan on Flight Zone every Monday night. That's my this is my boys over there.
Yeah.
Who's
saying who's in
so far?
this one season this year besides the Flyers, aka the Philadelphia Nosedivers, because they are not flying anywhere. Well, disappointing seasons wise, I mean, I would say I guess San Jose would fall into a disappointing season, albeit I kind of suspected them to miss. Another disappointing season, Winnipeg, I think would be a disappointment.
I wouldn't necessarily say Winnipeg. Winnipeg is about par for the course, in my opinion.
All right. Another team that would be Vancouver, I would say, is a bit of a disappointing season.
I would agree to that. Vancouver was a big disappointment in my opinion. Offense just wasn't there all season long.
Yeah. I would say I don't want to say them, but I feel like because they went to the finals last year, technically they would fall into this category, and that would be Montreal because of the letdown of going to the finals last year. Yeah, they weren't a great team going into this year either because of losing Shea Weber and Carey Price leaving, but I think technically they would fall into that. But
yeah, no, I would definitely put them in that category because of where they were last year. And yeah, some off the ice issues with Carey Price, but good for him for handling that the way he did. Islanders are definitely a disappointment. I thought they were going to be, especially with how far they got in the playoffs the last couple of years.
Islanders, yeah.
To just essentially free fall like they did. So we said we covered Vancouver. Winnipeg, like I said, is kind of par for the course. Anaheim was a little bit better this year than expected. Detroit was better this year than expected.
I would say, yeah, that's kind of maybe New Jersey because the Devils are still kind of stuck in neutral with their rebuild, and they were kind of hoping to do a little bit more this year than they did.
I mean, you could probably argue Chicago as
you could
a
argue
disappointment.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I would classify them as a disappointment. I thought they were pretty much par for the course as well. They had a nice start, I thought, and it's kind of fizzled out.
Yeah.
But I think they're going to be a much better team next year.
I mean, no one had a more disappointing season than the Coyotes. But
oh no, that's definitely par for the course. I'm going to tell you that.
yeah. Oh, let's see. Prism saying
I think we're missing one obvious one.
What?
Flyers.
Oh no, he said the Flyers. Besides the Flyers.
Oh, besides the Flyers. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Prism saying King's going to have a clash with Calgary. It's a perfect story. That would be actually very interesting to see.
Ooh, that would be interesting to see. Actually, now I'm thinking about it. Hello, who are you? Michelle McMahon.
Down saying, "Oops, my bad." I guess he was talking about the about the Red Wings there. And then, Prism was throwing out the Islanders. Was the Flyers the most disappointing team?
I think so.
I think so, yeah, because we were talking about third round of the Eastern Conference playoffs. We were talking about Eastern Conference finalists for the second time in a row, and we had a very disappointing outcome for the second time in a row. So, yeah, it's a very disappointing feeling. I think we got to learn to stop saying Eastern Conference finalists with the Flyers. Every time we say it, they just have a shit season. All right, we got to say first round out before they'll have a better year.
I get it. They everything went wrong for the Flyers that could have gone wrong.
Pretty much.
It sucks. It sucks for them, but you had a couple major injuries all season long. A guy you bring in Keith Yandel, good for him for breaking the Ironman streak, but was subpar all season long. Some of the guys that you brought in to be depth players and be like leaders on and off the ice, they weren't the guys that they thought. Derek Brassard was pretty solid, but he had trouble staying on the ice. They couldn't figure out ways to win games. They kept figuring out ways to lose them. But I again, like, I know I'm probably the only person in the world that's thinking this right now, but I think we see a completely different Flyers team next year.
Well, it'll be interesting to see. Very much the offseason's going to show a lot. But Juuse tied it up.
Josi, he's a dick. I love Roman Josi. He
Always finds a way, right?
always figures it out. He's like life in the Jurassic World. It just finds a way. By the way, I can't wait for that movie. I cannot wait for Dominion.
Yeah, after the ending of the last film where all the dinosaurs got released on the population, can't wait to see Earth in an apocalypse because T-Rex and Velociraptors have eaten everyone. Prism saying, I had, let's see, Dan saying, anyways, I just popped in to fuck around. See you later, boys. Rob is the life of this show. Damn, man. Harsh.
If you say so. It is what it is.
Don't get me wrong, though. Rob is a very important part, and we always miss him. But
he's the third leg of this tripod.
Yeah. And let's see here. Prism saying, I had them in the playoffs, but the Hawks to me were, although I'm biased. That's all right, man. I think we're all biased.
Oh, yeah. Everybody's biased of their own team.
Don is saying, Jesus Christ, could you imagine if the Sixers blow this lead? Philly fans might go crazy. Oh, my God, they would freak out.
Don, they're going crazy now. Everybody's jumping ship already. But as soon as they win, it's going to be like, yeah, NBA Finals, I told you the whole time. Whatever.
And then how about Ryan Ellis pretty much saying he didn't want to come to Philly and wanted to retire in Nashville?
You think that's what it is?
I'm not
playing. He's faking an injury just to not play for the Flyers.
I don't know. Hell, honestly, with the way the team's been, I would have.
True. And to Anthony's point, I don't want to say the Ducks are a disappointment. I think they had a better season than expected. They started off great, and they kind of they're a young team. They just fizzled out. It is what it is. I had playoff expectations after about the first 3 months. It is what it is. Hey, Rob, we love you. Ain't no need to flip us off. I think are the third leg of our tripod.
Yeah, I think he's flipping off Dan, if anything.
Well, why flip off Dan? Dan said he was the life of the party.
Defending us, I have no clue.
Yes, defend us. Defend my honor, Rob.
Dylan saying, Flames surprised me. I had them being on the bubble and just missed the playoffs. Never thought they'd be first in the Pacific. I can understand why.
I mean, after the way the season started, he's seen LA in the mix, Anaheim at the top of the division. Vegas kind of falling off here. Edmonton was in their tailspin. It's been a wild season, especially in the Pacific Division.
Yeah. And Joey saying, gentlemen, how are you? What's up, Joey?
Joey, what's going on, brother?
And now let us take a look at our next matchup here in the West, and that will be the Central Division contest, and that is the Minnesota Wild taking on the St. Louis Blues. Last year, Minnesota fought Vegas hard, but they got eliminated in 6. Last year, most everybody thought St. Louis was done because they got their asses swept by Colorado. However, this year, Minnesota continues to have some highlight reel moments, not just from Kaprizov, but from others as well. And also St. Louis showing we're not dead. You thought? You're fucking thinking wrong, man, because we're still very much alive and kicking, and they're back in it. So, what do you think? The 3 year ago Stanley Cup champion on that magic run up against Minnesota that's still trying to write its newest chapter in its history. What do you think? Who do you think's got this one?
Bro, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm not even sure. Because this is a tough one because I think this is another one that's going to be very even. I think it's going to be another very evenly matched series. I mean, I like Minnesota in it because they're younger. I think they're getting more from certain players that they need to. But I do like St. Louis defensively versus Minnesota. And I think they're fairly even goaltending wise. I'm not big on Jordan Bennington, but I mean he's a guy you need to step up to win this series because Minnesota's just they could. I don't want to say they're an offensive powerhouse, but they can score goals when they want to. Give me Minnesota in this one. I think it goes 7.
All right. Regular season series, by the way, the Blues won all 3. They won the first game.
Then I'm sold on Minnesota in games in a 7-game series.
Yeah, Blues won 6-4, and then the other 2 they won in overtime. So they didn't win them by like crazy scores. 4-3 in OT, and then 6-5 in OT. Very high scoring game that last one. But in this one, I'm gonna say I think Minnesota's gonna. To me, they're one of my dark horses to make a run. So I'm gonna say Minnesota wins this series. I think I agree with you. 7-game series. I think it's gonna be a fight. It literally will be a fight to the bitter end. But I think Minnesota gets the nod here and moves on to the second round, and it will be the third straight season since winning the cup that St. Louis would be eliminated in the first round.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it this way, I mean, both teams can score goals. I mean, we saw this I saw this on Sunday against Anaheim, and I realized it's a bad example to use, but I mean, think about it. They put up 4 goals in a period on Anaheim, who outplayed them completely in the first period. So this St. Louis team is a team that can hit you with goals at any moment and at any time. They have Giroux, who's been a really good goal scorer for them. They have Ryan O'Reilly, who's always going to be that. But the one thing that they do have over Minnesota is physicality. I think that, it's similar to the Colorado playing a team like Dallas in the first round. St. Louis can use their physicality to their advantage and can really wear down a team like Minnesota. Minnesota's a little bit faster, I think. But this is going to be a tough, hard-fought series for both of these teams. And if it winds up being this in the first round, I'm liking these series so far. If it winds up being what these are in the first round, it's going to be a very entertaining first round.
It definitely will be. Second period just started, by the way, between Vegas and Dallas. For me in this series, the thing that I like about Minnesota is they really have that. What's the word? They have the tenacity. They never get intimidated by anything. Like, they stand up and they fight hard. And they're that kind of team that if you score on them, it's like, all right, it's probably not going to last because they're going to find a way to get a puck in the back of the net, and they always do.
Yes.
And there's another team in the East that likes to do that too, and we'll get to them when we get to them. But they're kind of like the Western version of that team. They may go down on the scoreboard a decent amount, but they always come back, and they always make you pay for taking your foot off the gas. And so what were you gonna say?
No, I'm agreeing with you. The one thing though that I think I'm going to flip here, and I think I'm going to take St. Louis in this series. I'm kind of talking myself into taking them, which is really funny. They're smart with the puck too. They don't just throw the puck on net just to throw it on net. Usually, when they do, it's usually because there's somebody there waiting for that juicy rebound, which is really what happened with Anaheim. Is on Sunday they were just waiting for guys to get in front of the net, and they just waited for the rebound, and there was always somebody there. They're good at stick checking the defense and essentially taking them out of the play, and it leaves them with a fairly clean shot at a loose puck. So, I was going to go Minnesota, but I think St. Louis can win this series in 7.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. I'm going to stick with Minnesota just because I've been big on them all year. I'm sticking with them now.
Ain't nothing wrong with it.
All right, time to go on to our next matchup. Anthony's saying I think the Blues will just run them over.
They could. I mean, they're a much more physical team than Minnesota.
And Roska saying Minnesota Wild will win Game 7 on St. Louis Blues.
Okay.
So let's see here.
This is going to be a coin flip series, but I originally wanted Minnesota. I just talked myself out of it.
Dylan saying I had 1 Vegas, 2 Edmonton, 3 Vancouver, and LA would have been the wild card. Wow. That whole standing got completely fucked on Dylan's look at the Pacific.
I don't remember. What I need to start doing is I need to get a notebook or something from Target. This is like right there. And I need to start writing my shit down because I don't remember what I had in the beginning of the season.
I think I didn't either. I don't either. I'll be honest with you.
I don't even remember if I had the Ducks finishing where they finished.
I think I had the Flyers like either second or first, and that was fucking stupid, obviously. Now get back on it. But, it is what it is.
That's the beauty of doing what we do in the beginning of the year, because that way you don't know what the future holds. This is what makes it more fun. We look back at it and be like, damn, I was wrong.
Yeah, there's plenty of great and possible cool things that can happen, and in the Flyers case, a lot of bullshit that can happen. All right, so let's see here. On to our next one, and our next battle is the battle in the Pacific Division on the 2 and 3 spot. The Edmonton Oilers and the LA Kings. These two teams haven't really faced each other all that much since the golden age of their rivalry, which was back in the 80s and the early 90s when they were in the same division together. And, of course, back then, they were in the Smythe division. Shows you how long ago it was. And the Kings were not really the best team in the world. And Edmonton had Gretzky and used to shit on them every year. And then finally the roles reversed when Gretzky showed up. So the question is, it's been a minute. What do you think happens here? The Oilers have not had success in the first round since they beat the Sharks that one year and then lost to Anaheim in the next round. So it's been a minute. And there's been a lot of shit that's happened and a lot of shit that's been flung at Edmonton since then because of the fact that they can't get out of the first round. Meanwhile, LA, they're young, they're up and coming. Yeah, there are still some veterans from their cup days, but mostly it's a lot of youth. And, you've got Peterson and you've got Quick as their goaltenders. What do you think here? Who do you think's got the advantage? Who do you think wins this series?
As much as I don't want to. Seriously, as much as I don't want to. I got to go Edmonton in this series. Their team is just more experienced, and I think that's going to play a huge factor. Yeah, it's big they still have Andrei Kopitar and Dustin Brown and Jonathan Quick and Drew Doughty. Those guys, it's very important to have them moving forward. I just think there's going to be too much youth on this team, and they're just going to get I don't want to say too excited, but I think the nerves are going to get the best of them being in the first round going up against a team like Edmonton. But I don't see Edmonton going far. I really don't. I think they're second team and out. Second round and out. But I mean that experience is gonna be huge for Edmonton, especially in this first series, because you're gonna have guys that don't really know how to maintain their composure. They're gonna get sucked up into the moment. I like the goaltending, obviously, in LA better than Edmonton. But again, I think this series is going to come down to the experience, and Edmonton has that experience over LA. And LA has a lot of talent on that roster. They have a ton of talent on that roster. The problem is that talent has not seen the NHL playoffs. Do I think Kopitar and Doughty can be the two biggest pieces to them beating Edmonton? Yeah, absolutely. I think they're the two best leaders in that locker room. But again, it's a lot of young players who have never seen it.
I'm sorry. Ottinger just made a great save.
Oh yeah, he did.
I had the 2-on-1 chance right here. Actually, 3-on-1.
It was almost a 3. Yeah, I was going to say it was a 3-on-1, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a 3-on-1. Ottinger. Oh, actually, no, it never even got to Eichel. He grabbed it right out of the side. Nope. No.
And he got, that not. I mean, that's a great play by Harley to have his stick in the zone there. Dadonov looked like he tried to go underneath the stick instead of trying to go over. But
yeah. And Prism
I
saying
agree.
Oettinger is a beast.
I agree with Priz there, though. No goalie in Edmonton, but
Yep.
again, I think if LA can maintain their composure, they can beat Edmonton. I think this is a 6-game series at max. At max, I think the Kings can steal 2, but I just think the playoff experience that Edmonton has on their roster is going to be what wins them that series. But second round, they gone.
Yeah. Prism saying Adrian Kemp brought to become a star, or about to become a star. And then Joe, how's the regular season not over yet?
One more game for the Flyers.
Yeah, don't worry. There's only one more. Only one more game to torture yourself with, and that's it. It's off to the playoffs. And he's saying, I think the Kings will beat the Oilers because the Kings vets will come through.
Yeah, but I mean, Dustin Brown's not even close to the same player that he used to be. That's the only thing. I think it's just a lot of youth. I think that's all that is. I think LA will be back in the playoffs next year, and I think they get out of the first round. I think this is going to be a good learning opportunity for the young guys, guys like Byfield and Kempe and Kaliev and a couple of the other ones. It's going to be a great learning opportunity, but again, Edmonton is just the more experienced team. I think that's going to be the bigger selling point for me on this one and why Edmonton wins it. But again, they don't get far.
For me, I would say, as much as I would love to see Edmonton lose again in the first round, just to laugh my ass off at them after what happened last year, and the year before that, But I would say unless Quick and Peterson decide to, especially Quick, if he decides to kind of find his old self and really frustrates the shit out of Connor McDavid and Draisaitl, and good luck with that, I do see this going to the Oilers. I think they win it in 6. I think the Kings can win a couple of games here, put up a decent fight, but I do think the Oilers do get the job done, and they do go on to the next round. And they finally think that they're going to do something.
Well, and that's the other thing too. Is I don't think they're going to be able to shut down Draisaitl and McDavid. Me too. Power play is still a problem.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's hard to shut down McDavid and Draisaitl when your team's doing good. So imagine if your team's not as solid as it needs to be. It's hard to shut them down when your team is. So I don't know. It's a lot to ask for a young LA team to get the win over Edmonton. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong though. If LA had a little bit more experience under their belt, if they had maybe 2-3 playoff appearances now under their belt, and Peterson had 2-3 playoff, runs under his belt, I would actually say LA would probably win this. But I think inexperience is definitely going to be a key factor in LA bowing out here. But like you said, Brian, great experience for the Kings, a great chance for them to kind of take that and say, hey, no one expected us to make the playoffs, at the beginning of the year, and we made the playoffs. We shook the hell out of Edmonton. We didn't beat them, but we fought hard. And there's nothing to be ashamed of when you're young and up and comer.
I mean, I like Dylan's prediction here, saying that their goaltending and defense needs to step up, and I agree with him. I do. I don't trust Mike Smith and Koskinen as far as I can throw them,
No.
and it's not far that I can throw them because they're big guys. They're big guys.
They are.
Mike Smith is like 6'4", 215, 220, something like that.
You would think
get him off the ground.
You would think that the size alone would be enough to make him a better goaltender than the way he's been performing. But
he's just old. That's his biggest. That's his biggest thing. He's 40. But the defense is okay. I'm not. They don't wow me. The offense wows me. They're deep up front.
Oh
And
yeah.
I think that's what is going to, it's just the experience factor that the roster has versus LA. I do like LA's roster, and I think next year they do make some noise in the playoffs. As long as this isn't a flash in the pan season for the Kings.
Yeah, and there is
And
always that risk. That we'll definitely talk about that as we get closer to next year.
as a fan of these teams here, this team,
you hope.
I hope it's a flash in the pan season. But let's be real, it's an insanely talented roster that LA has.
Oh, it is. It is.
They're going to score some goals. They're going to give Edmonton a run, but it's just I can't see LA getting past Edmonton, and if they do,
Dylan.
I got no problem. I got no problem eating a crow on that one.
I love it. Dylan saying Tim Thomas was just a fat gelatinous cube in the net, and he won a cup.
It really was. And he didn't even go to the White House.
No, he didn't actually. And then I believe after the following season, when they got eliminated in the first round by Washington, he then took a year off. And then Boston said, "Okay, we got Rask. Fuck you, Thomas. Thanks for the cup, but fuck off."
I'm sorry. I'm all about supporting people's decisions and all that, but you get a once in a lifetime opportunity, and it might be the only chance that you get to go to the White House. You got to take that. I don't care what your political views are. If I was in that situation, I'm probably the least political person you will ever meet. I don't talk about it. I just can't stand all of that. But I would still take the opportunity to go to the White House. You never know when the next chance you're going to get is going to be.
Dylan, I bet if they had a McDonald's buffet like Trump had, he would have been there.
You had a McDonald's buffet there? Ew.
Well, I mean, would you expect anything less? Trump had said a long time ago, like his breakfast was like a double cheeseburger and a giant bottle of Coke or something like that. I don't know how he survived his fucking 4 years on that kind of diet, considering the stress that you'd be under.
That explains why he doesn't really have a chin. He just has a neck. But anyway, I got to be careful what I say. I'm in a very red state. I got to be careful. I'm like missing.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you will be able to remember the last appearance that Brian Daly's had on the Hockey Happy Hour through no fault of his own.
It's through all complete fault of my own. Sitting here making fun of the guy that everybody down here wanted, but here bang on my door. It's guys with pitchforks and torches. I'm like, the ogre lives across the street,
and a couple of shotguns and some Budweisers.
Not even Budweisers. Freaking bottles and jugs of moonshine. This here, President. No.
We don't take kind
on YouTube. No, it wasn't me.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Sir, it wasn't me. It was not me. I promise you that.
It was my evil twin, Brian Bailey.
Nope, wasn't even. It wasn't me. Who was it? I don't know. It wasn't me. Are you Trump supporter, sir? I plead the fifth on that one.
All right, then. So, that is the West, and that is our matchups. So we've got some interesting battles coming up for us in the Western Conference. We got a tough fight going on right now here in the second period between Vegas and Dallas. Still 1-0 Vegas. However, though, Dallas ain't going anywhere. They're fighting here. So
yeah, they're pressing. They're buzzing a little bit.
Yeah, but hey, that's the beauty of this time of the year when you get to these kind of races that come down to the wire. I mean, obviously, 2010. Everybody in the area.
That's the third time in like 30 seconds that Jamie Benn has mishandled the puck.
Yeah, I don't know. not the best time to be making mistakes.
I mean, Vegas is still holding tight. They can't get a clear. Oh, as soon as I say that, they get the clean clear, but they couldn't get it as soon as Dallas had possession again. They were right back in the zone. And now it looks like Vegas has a chance here for some sustained pressure. Carlson fumbles it, gets back to the high slot, and now Dallas goes back the other way.
God damn. Anthony, he said if Tim Thomas went to the White House now, he would lose that weight with Kamala Harris and his legs up, with her legs up, and Hunter smoking his crack watching. God damn. God damn. Holy shit. Woo. Wow. Holy shit. Woo. So I think I know who Anthony voted for in the last presidential election.
So Mikael Backlund missed the wide open net, you say?
Yeah. All right. On to our Eastern Conference preview. That's the end of the first period for us as we finish up our Western Conference portion of the preview. And our first period sponsor was brought to you by eXp Realty. Listen, if you are looking to buy or sell a home, or you're looking for a change of career in brokerage, you contact Alan Foy at eXp Realty LLC, and Dallas just tied the game. It's Robertson coming through once again.
J-Rob, oh, he went glove side.
There we go. There we go. I do like this kid, Robertson. I love his play.
Jason Robinson's going to be a stud. He's a stud.
Yeah, this kid is really good. But if you are looking to buy, sell, rent, change career brokers, Alan Foy, eXp Realty, 302-682-8820 for the phone, or you visit him on the web at alan.foy@exprealty.com. If you're looking to make that big step in life, make sure that you do it right with Alan Foy. All right.
Real quick, a little breakdown of this goal here. The thing that I actually just brought up no more than 2 minutes ago failed Vegas miserably there, and that was a failed clear on a puck that got misplayed. And then, they were able to regain composure, gets it back to Robinson. Robinson takes advantage of having two guys in front of the net and puts it in a spot where Thompson can't even get to it. That's a huge goal for a young kid to score in a huge game here for his team.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
I definitely got to tip the cap there to Jason Robertson.
Absolutely. And that was, yeah. For saying phone died as J-Ro scored.
Dude, as long as you saw J-Rob score, man, you're good. You're good, man. We got you. We got you.
And then Dylan saying Nick Cousins is like a bootleg Crosby. Cries a lot, but lacks the skill. For saying he's 1 from 40. Oh, really? Wow. That's a great season for him.
He's had a hell of a season.
Yeah. But great goal for J-Rob there. Probably the biggest goal so far of his career. And it's a tied game right now here. So Dylan saying Zadorov fighting Jano after the buzzer for the second period. Man, it's from the way Dylan is saying, that's going to be one hell of a series between Nashville and Calgary if it winds up being that way, which it might very well be. All right, on to the Eastern Conference. Even though we've got a lot of Western Conference craziness going on right now, we do have the Eastern Conference. Now, I will say this. It is kind of sad that the Eastern Conference doesn't have any races going on. That's the one negative thing, though. Yes, it's cool to see that a 100-point standard has been set by the Eastern Conference, but it also sucks, too, because it's like, damn, there was no contests in these spots. These spots were set from day fucking one, pretty much. So I'd like to see that change next year, that hopefully we don't have a complete 100-point standard, that at least we have some contests even for the last wild card spot. So we can have exciting games like Vegas and Dallas tonight. But all the same, spots are solid. Everybody's made the playoffs. 100-point standard across the board. Let's get into it. So,
wait, hang on.
Yes.
I think I got this. I think I got something pretty cool here.
Oh, okay. What do you got?
I hate that I have to push the button to start it and stop it, but I think I got something here that we can actually use for our end of the periods. It's even at Anaheim.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. It's got all 31 teams.
Is that like a goal horn app?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Nice. I like it. All right, then. So we go on to our first wild card match.
That's Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that's not the best goal horn to hear.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to do this one for Pris. There you go, Pris.
Dallas.
Nope.
Rob saying Canes clinch Metro. Nice. Good for them. Their first division title in quite some time, actually. I think the last time they won a division. Oh, no, wait a minute. No, they won last year. Never mind. I'm wrong. They won the Central last year. But before that, it had been a while. Anyway, on to our first wild card matchup, and it would be the Washington Capitals with 100 points exactly going up against the 120 President's Trophy winning 57-16-6 Florida Panthers as of this recording, 57-16-6. So, well, what can we say about the Panthers that hasn't already been said? It's the best season that the franchise has ever had. This is the best team the franchise has ever had. Sure, this team hasn't gone anywhere. They haven't gotten out of the first round. But it's still pretty safe to say this is the best team they've ever had. Sure, the 96 team went all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals, but no one saw that coming. So this one, yeah, a lot of people are expecting it. But you can't really sleep on Washington. Even though Washington may be the lowest seeded team in this year's bracket for the East, still a 100-point win team. And on top of it as well, Ovechkin hasn't slowed up. The Capitals have continued to find ways to win. Even if they slipped a few times, they still managed to stay ahead. This is a team that still has really good offense, that still pops up and still is able to, put pucks in the back of the net. Will say that it'll be interesting to see how the goaltending works out between Vanacek and Samsonov. I think it'll be Samsonov they most likely go with. But still, though, Brian, what do you think here? Do you think that the Panthers, who have not been out of the first round since 96 when they went to the finals, and will have the President's Trophy on their side, so keep that in mind, going up against the Capitals, who have not been out of the first round since the year they won the Cup?
I mean, I think this is a pretty one-sided battle here, and that's Florida all the way. I don't even think it's relatively close. Washington has found ways to win hockey games, and that's all well and good. But Florida's been winning hockey games, and they've done it in dominant fashion. They are just one of the, if not the best, top to bottom, all-around team in every aspect of the game. I think they're going to abuse, whether it's Vanacek or Samsonov. It doesn't matter. I think they're going to abuse him in net. I think their goal horn is going to get worn out. Florida's just too loaded for Washington. I don't see Washington putting up a fight against the Florida Panthers.
All right, then. Anthony's saying the Caps win with the experience they have. Rosca saying Florida
has
Panthers.
Experience too.
They do.
Florida has experience too, and then they bring in another captain who has playoff experience as well. I know you're not the biggest Giroux fan there, but
I think that's why he wants the Caps to win. But anyway, go on, bro.
I mean, he brings up a valid point. I mean, Washington does have experience on their side, but I mean, Florida was just there last year as well. Florida, I think, got to the second round, if I'm not mistaken.
Wait a minute. You mean Florida just got to the second round?
I think Florida got to the second round last year. Did they not? Or
no, they lost to Tampa in the first round.
These stupid COVID years are getting me all mixed up.
No, it's all right. It happens.
But it is what it is. But either way, the Panthers are just that much better than Washington. Is Washington good? Yeah, but Florida is just that much better.
Rosca saying Florida Panthers will win the first round. As for me, my opinion on this series, as the President's Trophy curse will come into effect at some point, I hate to say it, I want to see Giroux and Thornton win their first cup, but I don't think it's going to happen because they won that goddamn President's Trophy. I said it before, I said it again, don't win that fucker. But Washington, at the end of the day, are they the same kind of team that they need to be to put up a fight against the Panthers? The only thing that I would say could cost Florida this round would be they have a habit of being scored on first. Florida loves giving up the first goal in a lot of games, but they also have a habit of doing the comeback kid shit. So again, it's one of those things of if that's the one thing you're banking on to score first and then try to win that way, it's not exactly the best one to go on because Florida's got all that skill behind them. So I would say that this is a 5-game series and it goes to Florida. I think the Panthers do win this series in 5. I think Washington wins 1 game. I think they win 1 game, and I think it's because of a single. I think Ovechkin will be a big part of that 1 win because he did it with the Islanders 2 years back where they didn't get swept because he single-handedly won a game for them. I think he could do that in this series, but other than that, that'll be the only win they see. And it'll be a 4-1 elimination for Washington, mirroring what they've done the last 2 seasons where they've been out in 5 games to another team.
I mean, Ovechkin, I'm going to use the same fucking cop-out that a lot of these Flyers fans use with Drew, but Ovechkin tends to disappear come playoff time, so I'm not too worried about Ovi. I'm just not. He'll have you 3 points in the first round. The 1 year that he actually did show up, they won the cup. So, I mean, there's a lot to say about that. But to me, it's just this Florida Panthers team from top to bottom. It's just they're the best all-around team. They're the most dominant team in hockey right now. They are. They're 15-2 since the trade deadline.
I know.
15-2. It's stupid. They're playing NHL 22 on beginner.
With
Yeah,
every
have
team.
Oshie, Ovi, and Backstrom.
Here's the thing, though. Those
The
guys,
Florida Panthers are younger and faster, Ant. They're younger and faster. They have the better goaltender.
I'm going
They
to
have
say
the
that
better defense.
I will say this. They've had Oshie, Ovi, and Backstrom. Didn't mean a damn thing against Boston last year. Didn't mean a damn thing against the Islanders. That really hasn't resulted in them getting out of the first round. Like I said, they haven't gotten out of the first round since they won the Cup in 2018. Because the following year, they lost in 7 to Carolina. Now, you can forgive that as an upset. But then the next 2 years, what's your excuse? You haven't changed the team all that much besides goaltending. That's the only thing you've really changed drastically. Everything else has pretty much stayed the same. Hasn't meant anything over the last 2 years that Ovi and Oshie and Backstrom are on this team. No one cares. Everyone just, whatever, they're not showing up in these games.
Yeah, and they're not. But here's the problem with I'm not taking anything away from Oshie or Ovi or Backstrom. Great
I'm
players.
not.
I am a big fan of Nicholas Backstrom. He's one of my favorite players in the league for his ability to create offense. Great skater. His vision is second to none, and he's really a good player. I used to have a Capitals jersey, and it was a Backstrom jersey. But anyway, it's just they're not loaded like they were. They're just not loaded. You know, you can say what you want, like Sergei Bobrovsky versus Ilya Samsonov. I'm taking Bobrovsky all day and twice on Sunday. Defensively, I'm taking that Florida Panthers defense all day and twice on Sunday. Offensively, Washington doesn't even stand a chance. Offensively, you have Giroux, Barkov, Huberdeau, Carter Verhaeghe, Anthony Duclair, Sam Bennett. That's just your top 6. And not all those guys play on the top 6. They do a great job of spreading out that talent down there. I mean, outside of Ovi, Backstrom, and Oshie,
They still had Vrana.
They still had Verona. You still have Anthony Mantha. I'm taking Verona all day. Again, I'm taking Verona all day. Nothing against Mantha, but I'm taking Verona all day. Outside of John Carlson on the defensive side, they're okay. They're okay. Outside of Oshie, Ovi, Backstrom, that offense does nothing. The offense is nothing for me. Does Laviolette do a good job of getting the best out of his players? Absolutely, he does. It's just why they're still 100 points. It's why they're still at 100 points in the regular season. In a wild card spot, which is the craziest thing to me. But Washington does not stand a chance against Florida. Washington just does not stand a chance against Florida. There's not going to be a lot of teams that actually hold water to what the Florida Panthers are doing right now. And it's disgusting. And I love every second of it.
Prism saying, since you boys are watching the Stars tonight, keep an eye on Luke Glendening and Radek Fossa. I know Glendening had been stuck in Detroit, but his effort for a bottom six guys is really underappreciated. True. Unfortunately, Glendening had the unfortunate circumstance of a puck going off of his stick and into the back of his own net. But but other than that, though, we'll definitely keep our eyes on it for you. Dylan saying Garnet Hathaway is such an underrated player for the Caps. Flames shouldn't have let him go. No, I agree. Hathaway is a really good player. I do like his game.
Again, it's not the individuals that I just don't think as a whole this Washington team is good. I mean, obviously they're good, but I don't think they're as good as Florida. Florida is deep from top to bottom. They roll four lines consistently. And that defense is a shutdown defense.
And then Anthony's saying the Panthers may have the youth and faster, but if the Caps slap the Panthers in the face, how will the Panthers react? Well, that depends on when Tom Wilson wants to be a douche. That's really when it depends on, because that's usually what happens. That's how that gets going.
Are they going to call this a goal?
Oh, Vegas just scored.
A goal for the Golden Knights. Are they calling it a goal?
Well, let's see here. The ref called it a goal on the ice. It looks good to me. I don't see what any complaints would be. I don't think there's any goaltender interference.
No, there's not. That's a good goal.
Yeah, that's a good goal. Yeah, Stevenson. So Stevenson puts the Golden Knights up 2-1. So the Golden Knights are once again right back in it.
They're not going to react physically, but they're going to react by putting more goals up on the scoreboard. Yeah. Physicality is not going to help them in this round. They just have too much. They're going to be too much for Washington to handle. They're a lot for a lot of teams to handle.
Yeah. Dylan saying no way in as good as Florida. I think the Pens have a better chance against Florida.
And even to me, that's a stretch because I don't think the Penguins are on their way out.
So the second period just came to an end, and the Vegas Golden Knights shut the crowd up after a great goal from Robertson that made it a 1-1 hockey game. Stevenson scores for the Golden Knights to make it a 2-1 game. So now we go into a third period with the Golden Knights back up by 1. So getting very dicey here as we get ready to go to that possible final 20 in this game. Let's see here.
Dallas just has to answer early. Again, a heartbreaker of a goal within the final minute of play. Actually, this one was 2 seconds before the end of the period.
Yeah.
That's an even bigger heartbreaker. But Dallas just has to come out early, and they have to answer almost immediately. And they need to tighten up a little bit on defense. Oettinger needs to corral some of those rebounds. I mean, I know the first goal wasn't really on Oettinger, but he's got to be a little bit better with those rebounds. And Dallas has to stay out of the box.
Yes, they do. All right. So we go on from Florida and Washington. And we go to...
Yeah, Don, she's a psycho.
I've actually not really been following that, to be completely
I
honest
haven't been
with you.
following it either, but I know she's a psycho. And then Johnny Depp is just he's got his own issues. He does. I didn't realize he was as big of a cokehead as he is.
I mean, kind of doesn't surprise me, really.
That doesn't surprise me either, especially after seeing how he was as a Captain Jack Sparrow. He's probably on coke the entire time.
I was thinking the same thing, too. It's like, that explains why he did Captain Jack the way he did.
I'm just curious. Oh!
What?
Phillies won 10-3.
Nice!
I'll take it. Bats are starting to wake up. Let's go.
All right, so let's see here. Next battle in the wild card and division leader, we have the Carolina Hurricanes, who have clinched the Metro with 112 points, up against the 103-point Boston Bruins. Now, we all know, now these two have recent history with each other. They faced each other in the bubble, and it was a loss for the Carolina Hurricanes. And then they had also met the year previous to that in 2019 in the Eastern Conference Finals. Boston won that one as well. Boston's won the last two meetings with these two teams. However,
these aren't locked in, right? These can still change.
I think so. I mean, Carolina obviously isn't going anywhere, but say if Washington, who I think has 3 or 2 games remaining, or maybe one.
Boston and Tampa can change.
Yeah, Boston and Tampa can change. Washington, I think, could tie Boston.
Pittsburgh and Washington could change too.
Yeah, so
these aren't locked in, but these are pretty much going to be what it is.
Yeah, they're not completely locked in. They are what they are right now of this recording. But Carolina up against Boston. Anthony's saying Carolina beats Boston.
I'm with Anthony on this one.
I think Carolina finally beats Boston and they get that monkey off their back, because Carolina has unfortunately suffered 2 eliminations to Boston over the last, 3 out of the last 3 playoff runs. They've been eliminated twice by this team. I think it's time. I think Carolina finally gets rid of that and nips that in the bud. Boston, I think, is still very reliant on the perfection line and the players of the perfection line, no matter where they are in the lineup. Yes, there's been some play from some other players, like Charlie McAvoy's done pretty good this year. But again, I would still say they're still very reliant on those 3 guys to get everything for them. So it's like, and then also now, goaltending is a question because Rask is not here. So now the question is, okay, Swayman or Ullmark? Which one are you going with? No one's really sure. They think it might be Swayman right now, but it could be Ullmark. So that's the other issue that's coming up here with Boston. Albeit, though, Carolina has no room to talk. They've had their issues with goaltending as well. Nothing against Anderson, but there's been a lot of
depth. They got better depth than Boston does.
They do. They do. But all the same, I do think Carolina gets this win. I think the Hurricanes finally nip that in the bud, and they go on to the next round. I think they win it in, I would say, a 6-game series. I think Boston gets at least a couple of wins. A couple of big performances from, say, a Pasternak or, pray to God not come fun this, maybe Patrice Bergeron. But other than that,
Marchand's going to get on the board.
Unfortunately. Bastard. Anyway, Don saying I got Boston moving on. Interesting.
I like Carolina in this one. I think they're a better defensive team. I like the acquisitions that Boston made at the trade deadline. One being specifically Hampus Lindholm. I think he makes that defense better. But Carolina is another team that can roll all 4 lines, and they do that very well. They know how to create offense. They know how to put the puck in the back of the net. I think they're better defensively than the Boston Bruins. Oh, excuse me. Ooh, that came out. Oh, that hurt. Came out of nowhere. I think they're better defensively than Boston. I think this is going to be another situation where goaltending is going to be the question mark. Are you getting a healthy Freddie Anderson back for the playoffs? This kid Swayman. What does anybody really know about him? Ullmark is he's Linus Ullmark.
He's been more of a backup than a starter in his career.
And especially with Buffalo. And then you have Antti Ranta, who's been pretty good for Carolina. I think Carolina's just going to be too deep for them to beat. The thing that scares me about Carolina, though, is the fact that they don't have that superstar. I think because of that, Boston is going to remain in most of these games, but ultimately, I think Carolina wins. I think they win in a 6 or 7 game series.
All right, then. And Dylan saying 3-2 Preds. Forsberg got the goal.
He's having a great season this year, too.
Yeah.
All the guys that you expect to be having a great season for Nashville's having a great year. Duchesne, Johansson, Forsberg, Yossi, and then Saros. Oh, he's having a great year on that too.
Yeah, it's been, and that Nashville team has been. They're like, yeah, we're back, we're back.
What do you mean back? They never left.
Hey, it looked like they were on their way out. A few years back, we were looking at Nashville like, yeah, they had their golden era. Now it's officially over. Nope. They said, no, it's not. We're still going. Let's see here. And then Tauntaun say he's happy the Tigers just took the lead in their game.
Congrats to Miggy on 3,000 K, 7th player in MLB history to do that. Good for him.
So we move on from Carolina and Boston. And we go on to our 2-3 matchups in each respective division. The first one being, why don't we save that one for later? Let's go to this one. Let's go to the Metro. We go to the Rangers and we go to the Penguins. So the youthful New York Rangers, who got a taste of the playoffs in the bubble and got swept right out of it. Following year didn't make it, but this year, holy shit, this year they came out swinging and they never looked back. Sure enough, this team has been freaking crushing it all year long. And second place in the division, pretty solid on that one. Pittsburgh, little bit of a tough battle they've had. They had to get into the wild cards, and then they fought their way through the wild cards to get into third place to move ahead of Washington after Washington started to fall a little bit. They've stayed one step ahead of them so far through this. So now, for now, it seems like Pittsburgh's going to meet the Rangers. Penguins, last year, big, bad, disappointing ending for them as they lost to the Islanders. They haven't been out of the first round. Christ, they haven't been out of the first round since they lost to the Capitals in 2018. So it's been a minute. And the Rangers, obviously still a young team writing their own history. And right now, they're doing a pretty damn good job of it. What do you think in this rivalry between these two teams meeting each other for the first time since their wars in the early 90s, really, back when Messier was the captain of the Rangers and Lemieux was the captain of the Penguins? Who do you think gets this one? Or actually, no, I'm sorry. First time since the first time Pittsburgh won a cup in that back-to-back because they met each other in the first round that year. Anyway, go on.
I got to go with the Rangers on this one. They're just a flat-out better team. I'm not taking anything away from Pittsburgh. They'll be able to scrounge up a couple wins here for them. I think the Rangers are just too good. They're going to be too quick. I think they're just a better top-to-bottom team than Pittsburgh. I like them going out and get Rickard Rakell. I think that added a little bit of fuel to their fire, able to create more offense with Rack in the lineup. I just think, again, similar to the Florida series with Washington, I just think the Rangers are going to be too much for Pittsburgh to handle. I do. Igor Shesterkin's having a fantastic year. Alex Georgiev is having a fantastic year as well in net. So you got a two-headed monster there. The young guys are really producing for the Rangers. Braden Schneider has come up and shown that he belongs to the NHL level, being partnered up with Trouba on that second pairing. Lafreniere's not living up to the number one overall that he should be, in my opinion. I think he's got only like 17 goals on the year or something like that, but he's still been effective as well. The guy Philip Cheeto's been effective as well. And then you're looking at the big guns. And here's the big guns. Artemi Panarin. You have Mika Zibanejad. I'm just going to throw those two names out there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know, you got Crosby and Malkin on the other side. But, again, this is another team that's rolling 4 lines and playing great defense in front of their goaltenders. And their goaltenders have been outstanding. They've been outstanding. But I think they're just going to be too much for Pittsburgh.
Don's saying, I'm dumb going against the great Crosby and Malkin.
I mean, it would be one thing if they, the Rangers weren't as good as they are. I mean, I hate Pittsburgh too, and I hate the fact that one of my favorite Ducks is wearing a Penguins jersey now. But it's just the Rangers. It's their time. They did a great job rebuilding this team quickly. I can't sit there and just be like, well, it's Pittsburgh because it's Crosby. Well, it's not that way anymore for this Penguins team, especially when you got to go up against a team like the Rangers.
I will say this. I think that the Penguins will put up a better fight than they did last year against the Islanders. I think they'll get a couple of wins as opposed to the one that they got against the Islanders. And I think it'll be a little bit of a tougher fight in this series from them. But I do think the Rangers do win this. I think the Rangers win it in 6. And I think that they finish off the season for the Penguins. And then they go on to the semifinals. I think that, the Rangers were not satisfied with getting swept in that qualifier 2 years back by Carolina. And I think they really want to make up for that, and I think they want to show the world that they're not phony, that they're very real, and this is their chance to show that. You beat Crosby, you beat Malkin, and you beat the Penguins. Yeah, they may not be the same Penguins team that they were, 5 or 6 years back, but you know what? It's still a big deal to beat them and move on in a series. So I think that
it's because they're still a good team.
Yeah. And they are. And so I think that, honestly, I think the Rangers will finally prove, like, no, we're not a phony. We weren't a flash in the pan that when we were brought in on that inflated bracket, and we're not a flash in the pan this year. We're very real. And this is a chance for them to prove that against Pittsburgh and move on to the next round.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to take anything away from Pittsburgh because they still have good players on the roster, and they're still figuring out ways to win hockey games. And what's his name? Casey DeSmith has been great for them all season long. He really has. I thought he's had a really strong season.
Absolutely.
The Rangers are just flat out better. I'm sorry.
The
Rangers are better than a lot of teams in the NHL. There's a reason why they were in the hunt for the Metro the entire season.
All right. So we've gone through Pittsburgh and the Rangers, and now there's a reason why I saved this one for last. The 2 vs. 3 matchup. In the Atlantic, the 2-time defending Cup champions that many people want to see three-peat, the Tampa Bay Lightning, up against the Toronto Maple Leafs, who will have home ice in this series. Not that it has mattered in the past. The Toronto Maple Leafs, who have absolutely had the worst time trying to close out a series. And, well, it's put up or shut up time for Toronto, because if anyone's getting sick and tired of their bullshit, it's the fans at this point. Because how many years have we seen Toronto cough up first-round victories? Washington, okay, you can forgive it. They were just getting back into the swing of things. Even Boston the first time. It's like, all right, it's fine. It is what it is. Second time you had Boston beaten, you fucked up. Next, you then lose the qualifier to Columbus. You come all the way back to push a Game 5 and you get shut out. Terrible. Then, the following year, the coup de grace of your failures in the first round, you give up a 3-1 lead in the series against the Canadiens, and you flat out choke. That is a choke job if I've ever seen one from Toronto right there. So now, you're up against Tampa. They've won 2 cups in a row. They're obviously a hated rival in your division. Now it's time to step up for Toronto. This is a big opportunity for them to finally get that first-round bug out of their system and end the Lightning's chances of a three-peat. But the question is, the Lightning aren't just going to go away. So can Toronto, can they let's just say, do they have the balls to get rid of the Lightning? That's what I'm just going to call it like it is. Do they have the balls to get the job done this time? That's the big question, because they didn't have the balls to get it done against Montreal last year. So, what do you think, Bri? Lightning or Leafs?
Well, let's look at it this way first before we really start breaking this series down. This is one of those series that could change. Boston is 3 points back on Tampa. I think Tampa has to win their next game, and they clinched the third spot. But Boston and Tampa Bay both have 79 games, and Boston is 3 points back. So this could change. But
it could.
If we're talking about Toronto and Tampa, I think this is the series of the first round. This is the absolute series of the first round. You have the defending Cup champs going up against Detroit, or Toronto. Sorry, I don't know why I said Detroit. Sorry, Don. It really is depressing talking about other teams, but we'll get there, bud. We'll get there. But on the real, though, I think this is not the same Toronto team that we saw last year or the year before or the year before. This Toronto team is, again, rolling four lines. You know, they're getting production from everybody that they need to. That they need to get production from. Austin Matthews is having an epic, legendary season. It's
oh my god!
You can't sleep on this Toronto offense. You know, their defense, they've really done a good job at building up that defense from last year as well. I thought that was one of their biggest weak points, and goaltending as well was one of their weak points last year as well. So they went out and they addressed that. I think Jack Campbell's been great for Toronto all season long, and defense has been great in front. You go out and you get the legendary Mark Giordano to kind of shore things up on the back end for Toronto. I think that is a great move for them at the trade deadline. So good for them there. You're getting production from Nylander. Matthews has a 60-goal season. Tavares is playing like the Tavares of old. Marner is having a ridiculous season as well. So it's gonna be a tough series for Toronto for sure. But I mean, I think Tampa Bay's got their work cut out in the first round. Ow! That's sweet. Sorry, I had to. He threw that one out there. I had to do it.
Have you seen the new commercials with him? They're fucking hilarious.
Yeah, they're not as good as the other ones, but they're still pretty good. Tampa Bay, you know, they're the two-time defending champs, and we didn't think that they were going to be the team that they are. I mean, obviously, anytime you have Andrei Vasilevsky starting in your net, you're going to have a shot. Defensively, they haven't changed much. They're still one of the top teams defensively. And there's still a powerhouse up front. You know, Braden Point is just stupid good. Stammer is, you know, being Stammer. Kucherov being Kucherov. Maroon is a thug.
No other way to say it.
No other way to say it. He does a great job. He does a great job of getting under people's skins and, you know, creating teams to take bad penalties and you know, they are, I believe, and I'll double check this, Maddie, while you're giving your opinion, but I believe they are still top 3 in power play and penalty kill. So that's going to pay huge dividends. And I think if Toronto can stay out of the box, they can not take stupid penalties against Patrick Maroon or due to Patrick Maroon and Corey Perry, I think Toronto has a shot at getting out of the first round. I think you're looking at this being the series of the first round, and it's going to go 7.
All right. I do agree. I think that this will be the series of the first round. If not that, then I would say Minnesota or St. Louis. Those would be the two that would be up for that. But as for this series, well, I picked the Lightning to three-peat. I'm sticking with it. I think it's 7 games. I think Toronto continues to fuck it up because they don't know anything better than to trip over their own dick. That's what they love to do every year, and I think they continue. Painful. Yes, it is. It's extremely painful. Just talk to the Toronto fan base, and they'll tell you. And yeah, I think that it will be another example of such. I think that it'll be a fight, though. It'll go to 7. I think Toronto will push a Game 7. No, actually, I'm going to flip that. The Lightning will push a Game 7 and then win that Game 7, and Vasilevsky will get a shutout because it's right up Toronto's alley. You work hard just to take that 3-2 lead. You fuck it up in Game 6, and then you go to Game 7 in your building, and Vasilevsky completely stones your ass. It just seems like that's how this is going to go for me. All right.
Again,
so, yeah.
That still sounds painful.
It is. It is. It's very, very painful. Toronto knows all nothing but pain. Oh, there we go. Dallas just got the equalizer, and it is Pavelski, it looks like, who got that equalizer.
I don't think it was Pavelski.
Oh, it wasn't? Okay, who was it?
I'll tell you in a second.
Oh, was it Robertson again?
It may have been.
Oh, 2-goal night for the kid. And that's 40 points. Holy shit. Or 40 goals. Nice. Oh, yes, it is. It is him. It tipped right off his stick. There you go. Good on you, kid. Getting yourself into Dallas Star history right there. Nice.
Yeah, I mean, it was Pavelski was in the area, but no, that was totally J-Rob.
It was. So Robertson, 2-goal night, 40 goals, and now it is a 2-2 game in the third period. There's still a lot of time left, by the way, though, in the third period. So
yeah, like I said, they needed that goal right away.
They did, and they did get it early, like you said, Brian. They needed that. So, all right. So we talked about the Leaf and the Lightning. I have the Lightning in 7. You have the Leafs in 7?
Yeah. All right. So I got the power play. I got the special team rankings here. So power play percentage. It looks like Toronto actually has the best power play in the league.
Makes sense.
At 27%. I'm still scrolling through Anaheim at 21%. Good for them. I didn't realize it was that good. I know they've been pretty good penalty killers. Sitting there at 83%. So they're 6th in the league for that one. Oh, I'm sorry. It's not 6. That's not what that number means. But yeah, so Tampa Bay is somewhere in the top. I would say top 5, top 10 at 23.3. Colorado above them at 24.8. Florida at 24.2. Nashville at 24.5. Edmonton at 25.7. Calgary at 23.6. Rangers at 26.2. St. Louis Blues at 26.5. So you're probably looking at a top 10 there for Tampa, but even still, it's a very dangerous power play for the Tampa Bay Lightning. If, like I said, if Toronto can not take senseless penalties, I can definitely see Toronto beating Tampa Bay and getting out of the first round.
All right. Yeah. All right, then. So there we have it. So with that being said, Dylan's saying 4-3 Preds, Forsberg again. Refs called the BS roughing call. So obviously a power play goal. So that will take care of our second period. And
Name that team. Just going to have a little bit of fun with you real quick. Name that team.
Wait. Boston?
No, close though. Think further north.
Toronto?
Bingo.
Okay. Because I knew it wasn't Montreal. Montreal has that weird sounding goal horn. Let's see here. So we got the second period sponsor, All Campus OC. Hey, we talked about it earlier, man. The ramp booth, which is always a good time. But also, check out John Coyle's shop down there in Ocean City, New Jersey. It's a great place. They're giving 20% off of everything in their store, including hats, shirts, and their team cornhole sets to all subscribers and everything. So, you get subscribed up and take a look down there. wear your team colors with pride. You know, John's a great guy, and he does a lot here, and he's got a great shop down there. So definitely go check it out. And, you know, wear your team colors after you're done visiting All Campus OC and chill out on the beach. Good time.
Yeah, John's great. Definitely go check out his shop. I got a couple hats from him. He's got awesome selection for really just any team you're looking for.
Absolutely. All right. And so with that, we now go to our third period, which is news around the league on major things that have happened. There's a few tidbits, but want to start this off by sending out the heartfelt condolences to the friends and the family of the great Guy Lafleur, who tragically passed away. One of the best players to ever play the game, and unfortunately, he passed away this past week. It's been a rough couple of weeks. You know, you lose Mike Bossy, and now you lose Guy Lafleur. It's like, Jesus, two players of that generation gone. Like, wow, it's tough.
Yeah, it's definitely a heartbreaker. Obviously not something you obviously want to deal with, but, you know, as being life, it's something we unfortunately have to deal with. You know, the guy was a legend.
He was,
to say the least. He was an absolute legend. So
he was a major part of that of the last Montreal dynasty in the 70s that won 4 straight Stanley Cups.
Yeah.
And so it's a tough loss for the hockey world. Tough couple of losses that we've taken in the hockey world. But on that, other interesting tidbits and notes. Apparently, there will be jersey sponsors next year. Found that out.
It's only supposed to be like
up there.
Yay big.
Yeah, it's not like going to be like the European jerseys.
No, it's gonna be similar to what the NBA does. You know how they have that little. I think they're all gonna have their separate sponsor, and it's just gonna be up in the corner of the chest.
Gotcha. Yeah.
What up, Wills?
Yo, Wills, what's going on, brother? And Don saying any news on Blast Hill being shipped to Venus. Haven't heard anything about that. I think they scrubbed that launch, to be completely honest with you. I'm sorry, man.
I think I heard something about a 13-year extension to stay in Detroit.
Wow. That's a good long while right there. Then I heard that there is an option for another 6 on top of it.
The option from what I heard, he has a lifetime guarantee option to coach the Red Wings.
Oh, really?
It's weird.
Oh, okay.
That's a weird option, but, you know.
It's very interesting.
The same option that Anaheim seems to have because they don't want to let go of Dallas Eakins for some reason. I would kill everybody. Is it that serious, though? Is it really that serious? No, it's not that serious.
Listen, I think it is for Don, honestly.
They said Honda. It'll probably just be like the Honda logo.
We'll put it right on the ass of the hockey pants. There'll just be a giant target for everyone to shoot the puck at. It's like hit the Honda logo. If you do, you get a free car.
Don, when you jump off your roof, make sure you swan dive so you can, land on your head a little bit better. That would do some real damage if that's what you're looking to do.
Oh, all right. So
like Assassin's Creed style swan dive, just put the arms out and just
arms out, and then you have an eagle. You have an eagle cry at the very beginning of it. It does, like Jeff Hardy.
Yeah, like the swanton. Except you don't fully rotate.
Yeah, you don't fully rotate.
Land on your head.
You stop when you get halfway through. Oh, all right.
I'm picturing it in my head, and I'm trying really hard not to start cracking up.
So jersey sponsors was one of the things I heard. Other news topics, I still haven't heard anything about anything in terms of Arizona and Tempe. Still haven't heard shit about that. So that's interesting to note. I know they are going to be playing in the college arena, but still haven't heard
that's already a done deal. So nothing else is going to come from that until that they start. getting to the end of that agreement there.
Okay.
I mean, outside of like there's not really a whole lot of news going around with the playoffs getting ready to start up. So
True. But yeah, that was just a little tidbit of something that I heard that we're going to have jersey sponsors next year. So interesting enough, we already have the helmet sponsors that stayed from the pandemic. So it'll be interesting to. The AHL did do something similar to that. I know the Phantoms, they used to have it up here. I think it was was it Blue Cross? I think it was Independence Blue Cross was up here on their right up on the top portion near the shoulder. And that was for a little while that they had those sponsors in the AHL. So I'm not surprised that that's made a transition to the NHL. I will say this, though. As long as it sticks to that, I can live with it. I pray to God that they don't lose their fucking minds like they do over in Europe. Like, listen, European hockey is fun to watch, and it is. But goddamn, those jerseys. Like, sponsors are fucking everywhere on those goddamn things. Like, I can't even tell what's the jersey and what's a sponsor at this point. There's a walking billboard.
I don't think it'll ever get to that point because, I mean, there's still plenty of spaces on the ice there. I mean, just looking at we're at the 13.5-minute mark here in the third period. There's still plenty of ice to be able to put sponsors on the ice. I'd rather see the ice as a walking billboard versus the jerseys.
Like, for example, also in Europe, they do have where the face-off circles are. They have sponsors in those face-off circles. So, I mean, if you do want to do that, I'm like, all right. It's better than the jersey.
Right there. Yeah, it's 4 spots right there. So 4 times 4. You got 16 spots right there that you can throw some ads there real quick. Doesn't even necessarily need to be an ad. Just throw a logo there.
Yeah. And hell, friggin' Dallas.
Go into the
Dallas.
trapezoid.
They've
You can go into the trapezoid too.
Yeah, Dallas already looks like they have on the ice right there. They've already got 2 sponsors over there on the side, and they got
inside the trapezoid. You don't even not the.
Not on the outside. Oh, okay, gotcha.
Because everybody has the outside. I'm talking like inside the trapezoid.
Oh, okay. Meanwhile, Dallas gets that turnover and handled by
good hip check. Who is that?
I am not sure who got that hip check. It was nice though. There's been a few of them in this game. I mean, then again, that's not. Oh, damn! Oh my lord! There was a complete collision there. And then Vegas now with the puck, trying to push that one through.
Yeah, Shea Theodore took a good hit there.
Yeah. Then there was a complete 3-car pile up there.
Shea Theodore run up in the wrong spot and took 2 guys with him, so you can't hate him on that.
No, I don't. It's just funny. Let's see.
Yeah, other than like news and stuff like that, there's not a whole lot going on. Unfortunately, the sad news of Guy Lafleur was the only thing that I know of that happened.
Yeah, there's not been any news in terms of that. Oh, that was Ben, I believe. News. Was that? No, it was Suter. No, it was Ben. Okay, Jamie Benn got that hip check in. No, it was Raffle. Oh, it was Michael Raffle. Good old former Flyer. Michael Raffle doing his job. Love it.
It was a clean hip check, too. Yeah, I couldn't tell what number that was, so I didn't know who it was. I couldn't tell if it was like a 10 or 18, 19. The jersey became tucked after that.
Yeah. Which, by the way, 18 is different from the number that Raffle wore when he was a Flyer. He wore 12.
Yeah, I think he wore 18 with Washington, too. Oh, big opportunity there.
And let's see here. I'm sure Raffle is extremely happy he's not playing in Philadelphia anymore. Hey, I'm on a team that's in a playoff hunt.
I mean, some guys that doesn't really it matters, but it doesn't at the same breath. Once you find that group you like in the city that you like, sometimes even if you got to go through the bad seasons with them.
You're right.
Look at Getzlaf. I mean, Getzlaf spent 17 years with Anaheim. The last couple of years, he could have waived his no movement clause and gone somewhere else, but he didn't. He retired at Ducks. So
true.
But you find that spot you want to call home, man. It doesn't.
Yeah, it's true.
You want to win with that team. You don't want anything else. Nothing else matters.
He could have gone cup chasing if he wanted to. He decided not to.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see here. So Vegas trying to get into Dallas' zone, but Dallas doing a good enough job keeping them hemmed away there, keeping them to the outside. Meanwhile, yeah, Dallas trying to get something going. Yeah, offsides. Oh boy! So this is coming down to the wire. We're getting to the 10-minute mark here. So this is definitely a fun game to watch. This is a good game right now.
Oh, absolutely. Dallas is back in it now, and they seem to be buzzing a little bit more than Vegas. I think Vegas is playing a little deflated after that goal.
Yeah.
This dude Thomas is playing a lot better than I thought he would, especially against this tough team. But you know, I'm starting to get it.
Rosca saying Minnesota Timberwolves better not be eliminated by the Memphis Grizzlies in Game 6. Minnesota Timberwolves will even up in Game 6.
Meh.
Yeah. I haven't really.
The team I wanted to eliminate got eliminated. The team I wanted to get swept got swept, so I'm good.
What team was that?
Oh, the Brooklyn Nets. Are you kidding?
Oh, okay.
I would not. I'm happy. I'm happy that they got eliminated. Everybody was like, "Yeah, it's the Nets year. It's the Nets year." And then they got Ben Simmons. I'm like, yeah, good luck with that.
Wait. People were saying that the Nets were going to win a championship this year.
Mm-hmm.
Was it not just?
They should have won it last year, but
okay, so it wasn't just Nets fans saying it; it was everybody.
There was a lot of people saying it. A lot of insiders and a lot of talking heads saying that the Brooklyn Nets were the team to beat.
Huh. Gotcha. Well, they're beat. So there you go.
They got rid of James Harden, and it all went downhill from there.
Well, there you are. Rosca saying Arizona Coyotes 5, Minnesota 3. So, well,
damn.
That's well, there you go, Coyotes, taking yourself out of the running for Shane Wright. Good move.
Nah, they're in it. They're in it as long as they finish as a bottom team.
Dylan saying Lucic just murdered Duchesne, helmet off and everything. Nice. But then again, that doesn't surprise me. Lucic is known for shit like that.
Come on, Lucic. He's got a kid. You're gonna kill him. You're gonna kill him in front of his kid. Speaking of Rosca giving scores, let's do a couple scoring updates.
All right, then go right ahead.
All right, so heading into tonight's game, we got a couple games still active. Predators up 4-3 on the Flames right now. Late in the third period, early in the first. Ducks up 1-0 over the Sharks on a goal by Trevor Zegras. His 23rd of the season. Dubé has 2 goals for the Flames. Roman Josi has a goal. Matt Duchene has a goal. Philip Forsberg all have goals for Nashville. Noah Hannafin has the 3rd goal for the Flames. And Philip Forsberg actually has 2 for Nashville. The game that we're currently giving the live reactions to is tied up at 2-2. We're getting late here in the third period. Over on ESPN, you have the Blues and the Avalanche at the beginning of the second period, tied up at 0-0. End of the first, you got the Kraken down 3-0 to the Vancouver Canucks. And that's it. Everything else is going to be final here. Maple Leafs over the Red Wings, 3-0. Ooh, sorry, Don. Bruins over the Panthers 4-2. So that makes the Panthers now 15-3 since the trade deadline. Ottawa Senators up 5-4 in overtime over the New Jersey Devils. Tampa Bay smacks around Blue Jackets 4-1. Hurricanes beat the New York Rangers and officially clinched the Metro Division. Earlier on ESPN, you had the Oilers and Penguins. The Oilers win by a final score of 5-1. Jeff Carter scoring that goal for the Penguins. Evander Kane picking up another goal. 4-1 win over the Washington Capitals for the New York Islanders. And this game must have just recently went final 5-3 Coyotes over the Wild. And Ryan Hartman continuing his strong season, netting goal number 34. And really, Phil Kessel only has 8 goals this year?
Yeah, well, There you go. Age is a motherfucker. Nah,
He's not that old. He just looks that old.
Oh, what are you gonna do?
Marcus Foligno nets his 23rd for the Wild, and Eriksson Ek pots his 26th. And that's pretty much everything we got.
Carlson had a really great shot that got under Ottinger's pads, but it just went wide of the post. So Vegas almost took back a 1-goal lead late in the third period, which would have been devastating for Dallas. Not to say it would have ended it, but it would still be a very nasty. It would be a rough goal to give up at this point.
So heartbroken over that, let me tell you.
And let's see, Dylan saying the reason why the refs are calling everything against Calgary is because Tkachuk asked the ref after the first if he wanted his autograph. That's funny.
That's such a Tkachuk line too.
Yeah,
I feel like Brady's done that too.
They definitely take after their father. They absolutely take after Keith Tkachuk. Oh my god. Well, somebody has to. No offense to Max Domi, but he hasn't exactly lived up to Ty's reputation. I mean, I guess that's kind of a good thing because Ty didn't have the best one during his day.
No, I mean Ty and his kid, they play two completely different games. Ty was just an enforcer, and Max is he's a playmaker. Oh, good chance there by Stevenson.
Yeah, and a great save by Ottinger.
This game is getting nuts.
This is, man. There's been some great chances. Yeah. Good play, too, from Stone, and he got it right out to the open man. That's what that does. That's what makes Vegas dangerous, though. Vegas, they do find ways to get to that open man and get those goals. They still do that, even if their team hasn't exactly been stellar this year. Still find a way to strike when you least expect them to, and kills you.
Having Mark Stone back is huge for them. So that's been a huge reason for their lack of. Oh, dude, he got the buzzer beater. Of course, it was Tkachuk too, right?
Tkachuk ties up the game right before it ends. Wow.
You get your captain back. Yeah, right. You get your captain back. That adds a little bit of momentum to you. Some motivation. It's just like, all right, he's back. Let's go. He's a huge part of this organization, and he's a big part of the success for the Vegas Golden Knights. I was very, very upset that Vegas got him from Ottawa. Broke my heart. I said, of course they did.
Dylan saying 0.1 was left. Holy shit. 0.1 was left when Tkachuk scored. Oh, you can't get any closer than that.
This Dallas arena sounds electric right now from the little bit that I can hear.
Yeah. I mean, this team has, I give Dallas a lot of credit. For a little while there in the early 2000s, they had really plummeted. And it looked like after Mike Modano left too and everything, it looked like Dallas was in a lot of trouble. And it was going to be a while before Dallas ever did anything ever again. And while it did take a little bit, when they rebranded, they got new, I don't think ownership changed, but they did rebrand, and then they got younger players. They got better players. They started figuring out what they needed to do to make the team competitive again. Ever since that change, it's been nothing but excitement in Dallas since the Stars have rebranded and kind of reinvigorated their squad.
And they were never really out of it either. They never really got to the point where they were just like a shit team where they were just going to sit at the bottom.
Yeah, I got you.
Always in the mix, whether or not they made the playoffs or not. They were always in the mix for the wild card for a little while, and now they're starting to really put this team together, and there's a lot of talent on this roster.
There is.
I know Klingberg might be on his way out of Dallas. Jamie Benn, he's not producing the way that he was. Pavelski has still been a really good leader for this Dallas team, but the young guys are really stepping up and doing a little bit more than they're asked for, especially guys like Jason Robertson, who's potted 40 goals. And one of the guys that continues to go in under the radar, he really hasn't been that good over the last couple of years, is Tyler Seguin. He needs to get back onto his – I think if they really want to take off, he really needs to get back to, his scoring ability. And
his problem – I was going to say his problem is the same with Bishop. It's health. He gets hurt. He gets hurt a lot, and it really hurt his performances in his career. It's hurt Bishop too. It's not a knock on the player. The player can be great. It's just keep getting hurt, and it affects you. Oh my God, that hit! Holy shit! He lifted his ass up and launched him. Woo.
Yep, that's Jamie Benn for you.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
And that's what I mean. Like, for me, it doesn't really matter who Dallas plays. It's not that they're going to play poorly or anything like that. They're just going to wear you down. They're just going to hit. And you go out and you get a guy like Vladimir Nemesnikov, who's another guy who can hit. Seguin, obviously a guy who can hit. He doesn't really hit that often, but he does. And then you see a guy like Michael Raffle, lay a guy out with a nice hip check. That's going to get guys going. And especially if it's a clean hit. How is that still onside?
Yeah, I think that's what Ottinger got up immediately after making the save, and he was not happy. But Dylan's saying also Saros got hurt during the 6-minute mark. Former Flame David Riddick in net for Nashville. If Saros is hurt for round one, Nashville's definitely in trouble. If Saros is hurt, that is not good for the Preds. They absolutely need Saros. I mean, Rittich isn't a terrible goalie, but he's not a starter, and you're also I don't know. That's not good. You lose Saros, that's a bad situation for Nashville.
I mean, David Riddick is not a good goaltender, in my opinion. He struggled in Calgary.
Yeah.
Was he terrible every game? No. But there's a reason why he went somewhere to be a backup instead of being a starter. But that's going to hurt for sure. Dylan, what did they say what happened? Did he take a shot off of somewhere? Did he get a stinger? Did somebody bump into him? Because that could be an indicator of how long he could possibly be out.
And this is why teams do not start their starters when they feel like they've got a playoff spot. Now, Nashville, I can understand in their case because it is a wild card spot, a little bit of different ball game. That's why when teams clinch a playoff spot, they tend not to put their starters out there all the time because not only are they resting them, they can avoid shit like that from happening to them.
Stretched out a little too far. Yeah, so that could be a muscle pull, muscle strain. Hopefully not a long term. Obviously.
If he pulled his groin, then that's long term. But if it's just a muscle strain, like you said, then that doesn't necessarily mean long term.
Yeah.
But
right. 5 minutes left.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens with that one because that's a developing situation with Nashville at the worst possible time. And everything changes if Saros is out for the extended period of that first round. That changes everything for Nashville.
Good hit there by Klingberg.
Yeah. Yeah, the chippiness is the ice cream man.
I thought Klingberg wore 2.
Maybe not.
The hell number is Klingberg then? Priz, where you at?
Yeah.
Priz, get me straight on your boys here.
So let's see here. Racing down. Dallas trying to fight for it. Whoa, he's being held. Okay. That's what I'm going to call that, but all right.
I didn't see a hold there.
Let's see. Dylan saying Cal Yarncrook needs the OT winner against his former team.
That'd be nice. That'd be nice. I'm a big Yarncrow fan. I like his style of play. He's a blue collar player. I told you that. I told you that today that Calgary traded for him. I love the deal for Calgary.
I remember that. Yep, I remember that. That was a big deal. That was like, wasn't that like one of two trades they made? Because I know they traded Vanacek back to Washington.
Yeah, they made another trade at the deadline. I forget who they got. It wasn't a huge deal.
Let's see here. So face off in the Vegas
Klingberg is
zone.
3? Or is that Heiskanen?
Uh,
I think Heiskanen. I don't know. You know what? Fuck this. I'm gonna look this up.
And so face off in the Vegas end. 27 shots for Vegas, 28 for Dallas. They'll say Yarncroc hasn't done anything offensively for Calgary yet. He is literally robbed on every chance. That was what happened with Scott.
Yeah, but the good thing about having a guy like Yarncrow is he's not, you get more out of his play than just offensive production.
That's true. Eichel gets it at the blue line, but they are offside, so they cannot play that. Dallas pushes it into the Vegas zone, but no one's there to take it, so Dallas will hold on to it. All right, Vegas will hold on to it. Through the neutral zone, flipped in, knocked away by Dallas. No one can really gain entry into their zone. That's hand pass, so we're going to call play dead. Yeah, so far, no one's able to get into each other's zone right now, but that shows that both teams are... I think... You think both teams are comfortable with going to OT at this point?
Oh, dear God, I hope not. Well, Dallas has to win this in regulation to clinch the playoff berth.
True.
Klingberg is 3, Heiskanen 4, Hakanpää is 2.
Lindholm scored in overtime. So Lindholm scored the OT winner. It was a 5-hole trickles through on Riddick. And there you go. That is it. Calgary wins their battle against Nashville, a preview of the playoff series to come. And
oh, look at that. I got confused for a second. I'm like, wait a second. I'm still thinking Riddick is still in Calgary. So that's where I got confused. I'm like, wait, when did Nashville get a guy named Lindholm? I'm telling you, my brain is mush. I'm done. Like it's 11 o'clock. I'm done.
I know. We're getting to the nitty gritty here in this game. 28-28 on the shots. Most recent decent save there from Ottinger. Didn't seem like it was a threatening shot though. It looked like it was going to go wide anyway. Facing it from the other end.
Yeah, if you can get it, if you can snag it, you snag it, even if it's going wide, because sometimes that'll take a funky bounce off the boards and lead to a troublesome situation.
Yeah, that's the last thing you want, especially this late in the game. And Dylan saying, Riddick, let those goals in the 2020 playoffs, Game 6 against Dallas. One of the major reasons why he's not in Calgary no more.
One of the major reasons why he's not a starter anymore.
Yeah.
Ooh, good opportunity there.
Oh, what a save by Ottinger. Oh, flash in the glove on Theodore. Woo.
Wow.
What a save.
This kid is good. I haven't really gotten a good chance to really watch Ottinger yet. This kid is...
What a save.
It looked like he had some bodies in front, too.
Yes, he did. And he still said, nope, I'm taking that. Whew.
He had one guy in front. And it wasn't even really in front.
Dylan said he's like Steve Mason. Very hot at times and very cold. I don't know. That might be an insult to Steve Mason.
Yeah, I mean, Steve Mason was never anything spectacular either, and I'd never got the.
Here we go. Rough stuff. Had a feeling at some point that was going to happen. Hadn't happened yet until now, though.
He snow showered the goalie. Of course, it was going to happen. You don't do that.
No, I know you're not supposed to do that, but at the same time, I'm surprised that they hadn't had those kind of jousts between each other earlier on in the game. That they had kept the tempers calm up to that point.
Yeah, I mean, both teams are trying to tread lightly here because, you got a lot on the line. You got a lot on the line tonight.
That's true. It was Martinez who initiated it.
Well, again, Hintz initiated it by giving the goalie a snow shower.
True, the snow
You
shower.
don't
yeah.
defend your goalie there.
Then you ain't worthy of having a goalie.
Not even that. It's your goaltender's not going to look out for you.
Yeah, that's true. So, all right. A little bit of the rough stuff there at the end of that whistle. I will say, though, I'll say this about Steve Mason. I did like Mason. I felt that he was more consistent than some of the goalies, but yes, I agree that he was not necessarily a starter. If
This is
he
huge. Eichel's off the ice. He's serving his roughing penalty.
Okay, that is huge.
Oh, it's going to be a 4-on-4. Hintz is going too.
All right, so Hintz in the box, Eichel in for Vegas. Two good players out of the lineup right now. 4-on-4 play, a little bit more ice to work with for both teams.
Did I hear the ref gave to Eichel for not going to Calgary?
Let's see here. Stone's shaking his head. He is very much disagreeing with the call. I understand. Either way, you'd be pretty pissed off. Let's see here.
So it's essentially going to be 4-on-4 for the rest of the game.
Pretty much. Unless we go to overtime.
This is more ice, more opportunity.
And it's icing. Stevenson's kind of confused by that. He thought he beat out that. And, taking a quick look at the goals that were scored earlier in the game. It's been like I said, it's been a great game between both teams. And, I mean, you would expect this to be. Both teams, I would say, are, while Vegas, like I said, they've had their struggles, I would say that they can be competitive with Dallas. And Dallas is obviously going to be competitive with them. So this has definitely been worthy of the wild card race here to finish out the western half portion of the season.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, this is a playoff game for these guys. It's for one of these teams, it's win and move on. For the other one, it's lose and go home. So
yeah,
you're going to get that playoff atmosphere, and obviously, Vegas is the team that has a lot on the line here. So they gotta step up. I don't want them to, but they have to.
The Indians 0 and the Angels 4.
They're not the Indians anymore. They're Rosca.
They are the Guardians nowadays. I mean, if they were...
I don't mind the name. Worst logo in the history of all sports.
That 3D logo with the G and the baseball.
Maddie, it legitimately looks like a child made it.
Yeah, I will say, it looks like one of those high school graphic design assignments that you get in art class. Chris is saying the phone keeps dying. Got to plug that into the charger, brother.
It's all good, Prez. I could have used you a couple minutes ago, but it's fine. I did it myself.
We got to do it yourselfer here.
Hey, man, I got to rely on myself at work. Yeah, I get it. I'm not really for it, Rosca, but they're not the Indians anymore.
No. It would have been funny if they just called themselves the Cleveland baseball team, like Washington called themselves the football team for a few years there. Yeah, now they're the Commanders.
That's a name I don't like. I don't like that name. They had better options.
Did they?
Bodies out in front, and they couldn't seem to get it through.
Yeah. Oh, turnover. Oh, big chance. Oh, and Ottinger made the save. Oh, bad turnover there by Dallas.
Oh, yeah, that was Klingberg, too. Carson went opposite side. He probably should have went glove side instead of stick side. He had an opening on that top right corner.
Yeah. There's another good chance there for Vegas. They almost fooled Ottinger there on the bad angle. Oh, Eichel shot it high.
Oof. Oof.
Yeah, it was a couple of scary chances there.
Yeah, Prez definitely deserves some notoriety for the season that he had.
Absolutely. And that was Stone, my bad, who shot it high, not Eichel. Yeah, I would look at Robertson on the heart. Yeah, I definitely would. Dylan saying Dallas breaking down late. Yeah, they made a couple of errors in judgment. Was Vegas? Did somebody call timeout? Yeah, somebody called timeout.
Yeah, some bad turnovers. Obviously, an inability to clear the zone is coming back to haunt the Stars right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think Rick Bowness did call that timeout, which is the smart thing for him to do here to calm his team down. Like, hey, like relax, and just remember to take your time. I know it may be hard to do sometimes in a hockey game like this, but you gotta do it. You gotta be a little bit more patient than that and not turn the puck over in a real bad way and clear your zone.
Yeah, it's also knowing your assignments too. That's a big thing.
And that as well.
I like who they have out though. Faxa, Glendening, Heiskanen. I didn't see who the fourth guy was.
Not seeing it either. They don't have those little things that pop up like they do on NBC. Assume.
Oh no, it's not. It's Sutter.
Sutter. Oh, okay.
Sutter Glendening.
Oh, and no, it didn't go. Oh my God, I thought that went in. Oh, Jesus. Another bad breakdown from Dallas, and Vegas almost made a pay.
That wasn't as close as it looked. That was side of the net.
Side of the net, okay. Still, though, Vegas was moving that puck around. They were looking real dangerous there.
They've been looking dangerous in the final 2 minutes here.
Yeah. Pacioretty couldn't get much on it because Heiskanen was tying up his stick. Good play by Heiskanen to keep that, under control.
I mean, that was enough. If Pacioretty had gotten solid touch on it, or even that goes had a stick angle a little bit better, that's going in all day.
Yeah. Center. Dylan saying, DeBoer, I went to 2 cups, you fucks. Don't make me look bad.
Yeah.
He didn't win any of them, though. That's the other thing, though. That'd be the comeback.
But I feel like that's totally something he would say, though. Like, I feel like he's that guy. Like, I went to 2 fucking Stanley Cups, you idiots. I'm a better coach than this.
Don't
win this fucking game now.
Oh, good old Peter DeBoer. Let's see here. In case anyone was wondering which ones those were, it was 2016 for the Sharks and it was 2012 for the Devils. Let's see here.
Overtime. I really don't want to be up much longer.
Unfortunately, Brian, I think we're going to get it. I think we're getting some OT. Yep, we're getting OT. We got us some free hockey here, gentlemen.
Oh.
Well, look at it this way. At least it's not a playoff game, so it's not a continuous overtime. We will eventually get a shootout, so if it goes down to it. Although with this team's, it could very easily end in the 3-on-3.
It doesn't matter. They had to win the regulation to get the playoff spot. So
yeah, Tom
kept themselves alive.
Yeah, Tom, a little bit of a frowny face. Although I wouldn't be too upset, Tom. Your team's still alive. They got that point. They needed it. So now all they got to do is if they can win this game here and get that extra point, holy shit, that's a big step for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big game. It's a big game for Vegas, and they've really stepped up trying to battle for that second point. But we get an extra 5 minutes. We get an extra 5 minutes, possibly less.
Possibly.
And I'm with you, Dylan.
Yeah, Dylan saying, I love OT. I hate the shootout. I'll take 10-minute 3-on-3 on then a draw. I could live with that. I think that would actually be a better way to handle this, honestly.
Yeah, I'm with them on there. I hate the shootout. It does nothing positive for the game.
No, I just hate the shootout because the Flyers suck at it. So
yeah, Tom, man, be happy. If anything, it makes the next game for Vegas that much more important.
It does. Obviously they needed to get a point out of this. They did. If they can get the next point here in this OT or the shootout, that's even better. And that just made them get that much closer to Dallas. And now Dallas doesn't have such a secure spot. They didn't before, but they really don't have one now.
Yeah, and the last 5 minutes or so, they've really been pushing the tempo and forcing turnovers from Dallas and doing a great job at creating some really prime scoring chances. And Ottinger's just been stepping up to the plate and
So
handling his
Vegas,
business.
if Vegas loses here, they would need to win their final 2 games, and Dallas would need to lose all the remaining games in regulation of their season. And if they win, they'll be 2 points behind Dallas for the second wild card. And like you said, that would, of course, make it that would make that a very important next game for Vegas. Let's see here. So Dallas, with the puck, they win the face-off here on the 3-on-3. They enter in, tried a nice play, but got caught. Yeah, Vegas, nope, they couldn't get it going, but they're in the zone. Stevenson tried the centering. Oh, they still have it. Shot went wide.
Yeah, that was a forced pass by Heiskin in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stone shot went wide. Good job by Ottinger to hold on and get the whistle.
Yeah. Although Stone, he got that puck, got it down onto his tape there. Trying to make it, you never know. Take that shot, maybe get it in on net, or even if it goes wide, maybe take that bounce off the boards, and then you can get it in, with Eindra's out of position. Let's see, Dallas is Arizona and the Ducks left. Oh, so a big opportunity for Dallas to put some distance between them and Vegas, even with a Vegas victory tonight, because Arizona. I mean, that should be a win, but we'll see.
Yeah. I like Dallas's chances better than Vegas's, looking at who they have left.
Yeah, because Vegas has got to deal with the Hawks and the Blues, and neither one of those teams like to play dead. And the Blues are a playoff team, and the Hawks are just a frustrating team to go up against in general. And the Ducks, obviously, the Ducks aren't going to just play around with Dallas. They're going to try.
Yeah, but Anaheim's been lately, especially the second half of the season, 2 goals and done.
No, okay, so that's not a good thing. So Vegas now moving up. And they did not like what they had, so they decided to hit the reset button on that one.
Yeah, and it looked like Pietrangelo got into the end of the zone a little prematurely.
Ah, gotcha.
He was just looking to get the change.
So another stoppage here, so 3:40 left in the 3-on-3. Meanwhile, they had a little bit of an argument from the Golden Knights. They're not too thrilled with the puck coming back down in their zone.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how that was icing, but apparently it was.
Yeah. And 2-on-1. Oh, boy. Oh. Fans wanted a call on that. Thought it was cross-checking. That's
you shouldn't have. And that's a total interference call.
yeah.
Breakaway
Breakaway chance for Dallas. Oh, what a save by Thompson. Oh.
All because of a blown tire from William Karlsson.
Yeah. It's running longer than usual, eh? Well, that's what overtime will do for you. Well, if anything, it's a preview of live reactions in the playoffs. Let's see here. Yeah, Hintz had that breakaway. Tried to go high, but Thompson said no. And so this is a very tense game.
Yeah, and Hintz is not happy over that non-call.
Yeah, I don't blame him. That interference on there would make sense. You can't just go around hitting everybody, especially when the puck is nowhere near you.
Yeah, I mean, they could have seen that as incidental contact.
That too, I can understand on that side of it as well. But But I kind of get what they're going at. It's 3-on-3 OT. You don't want to make that kind of call and be wrong about it. So I kind of understand why the refs are like, no. We're just going to let this one go.
No, and I like the fact that they've had the whistles put away for the most part in this game.
Yep, tried Balfour. Ben got it. Down center's in. And they're looking. They decided to walk it back out. They didn't like their entry. One thing about the 3-on-3 overtime that I've noticed that a lot of teams are a little bit more comfortable walking it back out of the zone.
Yeah, I mean, what it does, it just gives really players an opportunity to build up some speed, get open, spread everybody out.
Oh boy, Thompson might be hurt. He took the Mestikov came right in on him. Oh boy. Well, he's standing.
I mean, unfortunately, it's to power move. He blew a tire. There's unfortunately not a whole ton that can prevent that. I mean, it's unfortunate. You just hope that Thompson's okay.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah, he lost. Yeah, he just took a dive and he didn't dive, but he took a spill and then he went right into Thompson.
Yeah, you can tell he lost it on the right skate.
Yeah. Did Dylan say it?
It's all right.
Fleury watching on the bus, some laughing at the Knights' goaltending problem.
Yeah, I mean, Thompson looks all right. He's going to stay in the game, fortunately. Hey, girl. Hey, who that?
Vegas now carrying the puck. Take it slow here. They're not going to try and go too fast. All right. Try to be a little bit more precise on their entry, though, but it just didn't go that way that they wanted it to.
No, it looks like Theodore tried to beat Robinson into the zone. They went for the home run.
Oh, good play there from Dallas. They got a good shot, but it just went high and wide.
I'm not even a fan of either of these teams, and my stomach's in a giant knot right now.
This is fun. These are the kind of games you liked. These are the kind of games you live for in hockey. Did Thompson get that action? No, that went high and wide. It went right off the skate of Stevenson and went right over the net.
So that was blatant offsides.
Yeah, that was that, and the fans were not thrilled that call was made late.
Klingberg, Sagan, and Ben out for Dallas.
And let's see.
Eichel, it looked like.
Oh, good play. Oh, but an even better one almost set up on Dallas. Unfortunately, Sagan couldn't get to the puck.
And Pietrangelo out for Vegas.
Let's see here. Got it through on a cycle there. And Sagan with it now. I passed it back to Klingberg. Tried to center it. Could not. We're down to 43 seconds left in 3-on-3. Yep, that one comes back into the Vegas.
I mean, this has been pretty even overtime. Both teams have had good opportunities, but it just kind of, I feel like it's just like everybody's. Ooh, I don't know how you didn't get called cross-checking there.
And Thompson coming up big, but fans not happy with a no call, like you were saying. Yeah, that's saved by Thompson. He tried to cover it. Puck came loose for a moment, but didn't get through.
I'm trying to see what they're reacting to.
Might be a little bit of the after.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they were reacting to there. It didn't look like there was anything in that little, I guess you can call it scrum.
Yeah. Let's see here. I couldn't get it set up. And, turnover. Oh, just went wide. Ooh. So that's the end of overtime. Real bad turnover there from Dallas. It almost cost them there at the very end, but did not go. So we go to a shootout. Wow. Talk about a golden chance for Vegas. But I will say Ottinger did a great job getting there and getting into position to make that save. Here we go. Shootout time. So for all the marbles here for Vegas, really, they can ill afford to lose this right now. And for Dallas, you win this, put an extra point between you and Vegas. Maybe make yourself a little bit more comfortable in the standings. Not clinched, but a little bit better.
No, I mean, Dallas has to win this one, and then I think they have to win the next game, like you said, for this to. Chris, I was praying for it, man.
Yeah. Dylan saying this has 2010 shootout vibes, and the Flyers played the Rangers, win, and you're pretty much in. Yeah, that was crazy because that one really was sudden death. Whoever won that game went in because it was the last game of the season. Oh my God.
I mean, I know it's not going to count, but if Jason Robinson is out there and he scores, I'm going to call it a hat trick. I know it doesn't count though, but still,
it's a hat trick in spirit. And ironically enough, he's the first guy on the lineup here for Dallas, which again, really not surprised completely. He's scored twice already. Might as well give it a go. So here we go. Robertson coming in on Thompson, and no, Thompson stops him. All right. Oh, Prism saying he always is. Oh, okay. They'll say Ole Jokinen got stopped by Brian Boucher. Yep, I remember that. Jokinen tried to go 5-hole, and Boucher said, "Fuck you."
it's kind of almost what Robinson looked like he was trying to do. It looked like he was trying to go 5-hole or low glove side.
Ooh, good save from Ottinger. Eichel just tried to take a straight shot through him. Didn't go.
Yeah, he just tried to snipe there.
Yeah. Now we go to Sagan.
I thought it was interesting that he went way wide instead of coming straight in.
Yeah. Sagan tries to go for a 5-hole shot. Doesn't go. Thompson makes that save.
Interesting that they're not trying to make some moves here especially with Sagan's hands.
Yeah. I guess he tried to get him to bite, but he didn't go. Theodore. Oh, nice save.
He gave him a little bit in that 5-hole.
He did. Not enough, though. He recovered real well. Ottinger made the beautiful save on Theodore. Theodore tried to do a little head fake, and Ottinger said, nope.
Yeah, he was patient with Theodore there, and he let Theodore make the move, and he just followed him the rest of the way.
Pavelski tried the same thing that Sagan did.
Oh, please, just somebody score. I don't care who it is at this point.
And now Nick Waugh. He comes up. Let's see here. And Waugh. Oh, what a save by Ottinger. Woo. I think he got a little poke check in there, too. Saying crazy enough, Zubov was always the first for the Stars back in the day, and he was a defenseman.
Some players are just good at it.
And Dylan saying Eichel's thinking should have went to Calgary, damn it.
Yeah, no poke check, straight blocker safe.
Nice. Hintz. Man, they are just trying the straight shot. They're not trying to do anything fancy on Thompson. Just trying to take straight shots in on him, and he's just stopping them.
Oh, please, just somebody just score. I don't care who it is at this point. I'm so tired.
All right, so Chandler Stevenson, who scored earlier tonight. Let's see what he's got. Stevenson in, save by Eicher, who makes a save on the 5-hole. Oh, my God. Never-ending shootout now. Oh, my God.
I'm about to sign off and leave you by yourself, Maddie.
Let's see here. Number 5, we go. Let's see here.
Is that Foxa?
Yeah, and he tried. He almost got Thompson, but Thompson made a blocker save. Yeah, Thompson just.
Interesting that they're not going in and making a move. That they're just trying to snipe it.
Nobody is. They're just they're all trying to get that snipe. And now Jonathan Marchessault's up for Vegas.
Please, dear God, score.
You would think Marchessault might try to make a move. Nope. He did, but he hit the. Did he score or did he hit the post? I couldn't tell.
Hit the post.
He hit the post. Okay. Again, he too did not decide to make any moves. He just tried to shoot it on.
You didn't see Ottinger thanking the post after that?
Yeah, I would.
He taps it back. He taps his stick on the.
Oh. All right. Nemestikov tried to make a move to go backhand, and Thompson was able to make that save.
Yeah, that wasn't a good move.
Yeah. I will say this, though. Thompson and Ottinger are not giving anything away. I mean, yeah, there was a slight bite once or twice, but for the most part, they've been patient. Dadonov now coming in.
Please score.
Nope. Oh, my God. Who's this?
I want to go to bed.
Dadonov made the save. Oh, my Lord. Or no, not Dadonov. Ottinger made the save. I don't even think Dadonov really got anything on that, to be honest with you. Now
it looked like it started to roll a little bit on him.
Now Heiskanen's up. Heiskanen scores! There we go. Heiskanen finds the back of the net. He made the move that Nemestikov was trying to make, but he did it better, and he got Thompson to bite. Oh.
That was a nice move. Thompson he bit so hard on that, too.
He did. All right, so Dallas now with the lead. Here we go. Carlson, see if he ties it. Nope. And there we go. That's it for you, folks. Dallas wins the game. Ottinger makes the save. And Dylan said Thompson looked like he tied.
A little bit on the inside.
Yep. And Prism saying Miro coming through big and a big save from Ottinger, and Dallas wins themselves this game. What a game this was, ladies and gentlemen. I kind of wish that this was the last game of the season for both teams because that was a game worthy of it. Holy shit. What a game. What a game.
They left it on the ice tonight. Clearly Vegas is not ready to go home, and Dallas, they just beat Dallas, but
yeah, Dallas says, well, too bad you're going home.
Hey, Tom, something to look forward to, though. I know it's not what you want to hear, but they're not out yet. They're not eliminated, so they're still in it.
Yeah, there's still 2 games left in the season for both teams, and if Calgary does wind up losing if they wind up losing both games, Vegas's chances are really high then. But all the sense, though, it is a very, very tough loss for Vegas, though. But it's not over yet. It is not over yet.
Dallas just has to win the next one, and if Vegas loses, it's done.
Look on Eichel's face. Eichel's just like, man, I thought I was done with this shit when I left Buffalo. But anyway, and Prism is saying too Nashville was out as well. All right. So that does it. What a game that was, ladies and gentlemen. Third period sponsor, Fan Up. If you ever listen to Willie Vegas or the Money Pot podcast, definitely want to check out Fan Up as well. Besides Betting US, With them, it's the best way to enjoy fantasy sports. They have daily NBA contests and more. You can win great prizes if you sign up today and use the promo code A2D for 5,000 bonus points at a $50 value. And just go to fanup.app. And then we were going to do a shootout, but I think we're good. We will forego that this week because this was a great game, and I think it's worth foregoing that. So,
the player of the week is Austin Matthews for hitting 60. But other than that, there's no game to watch. Anything between Dallas and Vegas.
Yes, definitely take a look at those last two games. Yeah, I think we're good on that one. All right, guys. So, Specialized Physical Therapy is who would sponsor that. Dr. Paul Vidal. They do a great job over here in Jersey. Burlington and Cherry Hill, you can make an appointment with them online. And Bri used them for his shoulder. They did a great job. And, if you have any aches and pains, that's where you got to go to.
Yeah, definitely check them out. They do an awesome job. So definitely check them out. SpecializedPhysicalTherapy.com. I'm so tired I can't even get it out right. Let's go.
I know. Just go finish this bad boy up. Obviously, Philly Drinkers for all your A2D gear and all your favorite A2D merchandise if you want to support us.
Yep, they do a great job over there. Alex is awesome.
Absolutely.
All kinds of great novel T-shirts and stuff like that. I think the big one right now is I fucking hate this place. So definitely get that T-shirt among Trust the Process and Gardner Minshew and all kinds of other great A2D merch, and that's PhillyDrinkers.com.
Absolutely. And just a quick little flash up of the A2D membership, $9.99 a month. You see the perks right down there. One of the biggest ones, the Money Pod podcast in Willie Vegas on the sports picks. Definitely use that to your advantage. You can get paid to be a member. And finally, to finish things up, our show sponsor, which is Manscaped. Time to change your old hygiene habits and upgrade your life. And definitely check out the A2D code. 20% off with the free shipping and handling. All right, guys, that will do it for us here on the Hockey Happy Hour. We thank everybody for sticking around with us who did for the ending between Nashville and Dallas. What a wild game that was. And, that was our playoff preview as well beforehand for both the East and the West. We'll see you guys next week for the playoffs. Until then, guys, you stay safe out there. We'll see you next week. Peace and love, everyone.
Be safe.